Chapter 589, Ms. Zhang's speech. When Yuezhing Shao returned to the village, the first section of the Shao family were busy making lunch. They had caught a lot of fish and shrimps from the river, and the seafood porridge was being cooked. They specially selected fresh prawns, removed the prawn lines, added eel segments, and marinated thinly sliced fish fillets. When the porridge was almost cooked, they put all these fresh fish into the porridge. The rice porridge was put to boil again. After a while, they added a small amount of homemade soybean paste, stir-fried crushed peanuts, added chopped green onion and coriander, and then put in a small amount of salt. The delicious seafood porridge was ready. The fish fillets were tender and smooth, and the shrimp and eel segments were mouth-watering. The surface was wrapped in a layer of rice porridge with a fragrant smell of rice. The porridge made with fresh ingredients was so appealing. They did not steam rice for lunch. Instead, a basket of steamed buns with diced smoked meat, diced bamboo shoots, and diced mushrooms as fillings was prepared. They had a good harvest on this day. While cooking porridge, they picked a dot of finger-sized small fish, raw-dead it in egg batter and deep-fried it. Everything was freshly cooked and crispy. They added a bowl of kimchi, a few sliced salted duck eggs, and a bowl of fried chili sauce with dried radish and river shrimp. Although it was homely, it was delicious. Xianxia understood that Ms. Yan had been eating a lot at her own home and liked fish, so she picked 2 cushion carps for her to eat, and even asked if the third section of the family wanted to have it. The other sections of the family learned that the first section of the family was ignoring them, thanks to the guest and the busy spring day, and Liulang was absent too, whilst Liulang was working for the Yan family, so they did not pester the first section of the family again. Shao Miling was already engaged, and Ms. Niu could not possibly let her join them. Shao Xiaozhi was too timid to show up, even though Ms. Ma asked her to. Ms. Ma's face sank when she saw the fish delivered by Qiao Xian and Tao Tao. This thing was not tasty at all. Ms. Ma did not like it, but it was a free gift that could be used to feed the chicken. So, she accepted it anyway. Tao Tao pursed her lips, complaining in a small voice. What is wrong with the third aunt-in-law? She always looks as if we owe her everything. Qiao Xian smiled. Isn't that what she is always like? Nis. Yan was very glad to accept the gift happily. She saw how Qiao Xian cooked the fish. What it needed was to figure out how much oil, salt, ginger, scallions and sauce to be added so that the smell could be removed. Then, it was fried in the hot oil with garlic and pepper, simple, yet delicious. Now that she was a great hero in the family, Ms. Niu might utter a few words in distress, yet she did not dare to comment on how much oil she used to cook the fish. She could just ignore the nagging. Qiao Xian would not invite Ms. Yan over for lunch since they had male guests at home. It was not proper at all. Ms. Yan processed the 2 fishes cheerfully but was seen by Ms. Zhang, who fanned away the smell and said, "You are in a good relationship with the first section of the family, but look at what trash they have sent you. You won't be able to eat this thing, will you?" She added. "But then, aren't you always a good friend with your 5th sister-in-law? Why were you not invited to have lunch with them when they have a guest over and instead gave you such a terrible piece of trash? They don't like me, but they like you, right?" Ms. Yan frowned. Ms. Zhang was getting more and more ridiculous in her behavior when no one was around. Chapter 590, Cooking fish. In most days, she either ignored her or countered her. Any other normal person would have been pissed off by Ms. Zhang. Ms. Yan washed the fish and smiled briefly. "Second sister-in-law, the guests at uncle and aunt's home are men. I as a woman need to avoid being with them. I can't just show myself at the doorstep, Canel. You dislike the fish, but I don't. You should not eat it when one cook it for lunch, understand?" Ms. Zhang sneered. "Elle won't like it." Ms. Yan ignored her. She went into the kitchen and recalled the way Qiao Xian had made fish and followed suit. She put oil into the pan, and when it smoked, she put the fish with sliced ginger in it. Then came the sizzling sound. Ms. Niu was picking vegetables in the garden, but she smelled something really delicious yet strange. She was drooling and could not help but wonder if it was the first section of the family who had some food delivered here. She rushed into the kitchen. Much to her surprise, it was Ms. Yen who was cooking. The fish in the pot was laden with garlic sprouts and chili peppers. It was oily and steaming in the gurgling thick soup. It smelled and looked delicious. But Ms. Niu felt very concerned. "Oh, Ms. Yen, you have used so much oil. We can't just ruin the ingredients." Ms. Yen did not panic when she faced Ms. Nia's cry. She smiled. "Mom, it doesn't happen often, and not much oil has been used. Also, we can afford this much splurge once in a while. I did this so that it tastes well. Let's just give it a try." Ms. Niu was reminded of the situation. Her both sons had wives, and one of her daughters was already married off. Her younger son was walking for the Yen family, bringing 700 won a month, and her elder son should be there soon. So, she felt much more confident and generous. She felt that a good dream was coming soon. But when she thought of how the Yen family made this happen and that she could not offend the Yen family, she calmed down. She forced a wide smile and said, okay, just once. This is akin to ruining things. We need money for many things. Ms. Yen smiled. Sure, Mom. She would bother about next time when that time came. Ms. Yen did not care about her mother-in-law's words. The fish was big, and Ms. Yen fried one but saved another for deeper cooking at night when her husband returned at night. She hid it under a big bowl. They had 2 other dishes to go with it, and that was enough for lunch. The fish was very well cooked, and Ms. Niu as well as second uncle both spoke highly of it. Second uncle said in distress, "No wonder the first section of the family fishes in the river all the time. It tastes so good." Ms. Niu found it delicious too. But she was still distressed by how much oil was used. It costs too much to make it. Of course, it tastes good, it has so many condiments in it. The first section of the family, well, the first section had Qiao Xian's dowry that made them afford everything. They had nothing. Ms. Yen smiled. Mom, it is okay if we cook like this 3 or 4 times a month, right? We have fish in the river, and we can get them for free. The cost will only be of the oil and soy sauce, which costs far less than meat. Also, it tastes as good as other meat, right, second sister-in-law? Ms. Zhang stiffened and became really annoyed. Chapter 591, Annoying. When Ms. Yen was processing the fish, Ms. Zhang made disdainful comments. She kept saying that she would not eat it, but in the end, she ate most of the fish. Ms. Yen did not stop her from touching it, but she wanted to stimulate her. Ms. Zhang could tell that she was being sarcastic. She snorted and said nothing, and suddenly felt that the fish was not that delicious anymore. Ms. Niu rolled at Ms. Zhang. What does she know? She only knows how to eat. Ms. Zhang felt even more annoyed, and her hands holding the chopsticks shook visibly. Ms. Yen smiled and felt quite cheerful in heart. Second uncle said, Ms. Yen is right. We have fish in the river and it costs nothing to catch it. All that costs is the oil, which in the end is still lower than meat. We can eat it a few times every month. Ms. Niu thought for a while and responded. True. We can ask the first section of the family to give us some fish when we need it. Second uncle nodded in agreement. Ms. Yen was speechless. She would have snapped at these people if they were not her in-laws. Dad, Mom. There are many fish in the river. Liulang and I can fetch some from the river. The first section of the family has some tools which we can borrow. Ms. Zhang sneered coldly. Fourth sister-in-law, aren't you their good friend? Can't they just spare you some free fish? Otherwise, I don't think that you need to visit them anymore. Before Ms. Niu could say anything, Ms. Yen replied. You are wrong, second sister-in-law. We live separately and can't just take other people's things for our own use all the time. If they come to our home and pick our stuff, will you be happy to accept it? I will not. Also, fish are in the river and we can learn to catch the fish from them so we can get it ourselves. Why do you always say things like this? They were just making themselves look more annoying in front of the first section of the family. Ms. Niu. She felt that she was also being referred to in the speech, but she had no evidence for that. Ms. Zhang had no proof either, but she wanted to cause some trouble, so she asked. Fourth sister-in-law, your words are way over the top. How dare you say this to Niam? When did I refer to Mom? Second sister-in-law, please clarify. Ms. Yen plunked the chopsticks, and stared at Ms. Zhang with a sunken face. Ms. Zhang was speechless. It had been a veiled comment and could not be proved clearly. She could not say that Ms. Niu liked taking advantage of people who were in front of her. If she said so, Ms. Niu would definitely teach her a lesson. Ms. Zhang said casually, you don't agree with Mom's suggestion of asking for fish from the first section of the family. Ms. Yen responded cleverly. Don't. What is wrong with it? Liulang and I can both get the fish home ourselves, why turn to someone else? Ms. Zhang. Ms. Yen sneered. Second sister-in-law, don't try to start an infight. Think before you speak. Ms. Niu felt that she had thought too much about Ms. Yan's words, after hearing what Ms. Zhang said. So, she admonished Ms. Zhang. Just stop it, you fool. Ms. Zhang got so furious that she almost left the table. Everyone was against her and looking down at her. Even Ms. Yen, a younger sister-in-law, dared to confront her. Ms. Yen also dropped the topic of getting fish from the first section of the family, when her in-laws said nothing more about it. Chapter 592, Attracted MS. Yen simply assumed that her in-laws agreed with what she said. She felt so stressed living with them. If they could live separately, that would be great, even if it meant that she and her husband must support the parents. At the first section of the family, everyone was eating lunch in a cheerful atmosphere. Xiao suddenly patted his forehead, exclaiming that he had forgotten something. He asked Xuan and the coachman to fetch it from the wagon. This bundle contained the stems of some kind of plant. It was less than 1.5 meters long, a little thicker than the thumb, and a small bundle of about 40 or 50 stems. It was so big that it was placed under the wagon, which Xiao could not remember when he was carrying the other things out. Everyone was curious about what was carried in. But Xiao Xian's eyes sparkled and she cried in surprise. It is cassava. Oh, young Master Yuezheng, you have really got me cassavas. How wonderful. Thank you so much. The others were very curious. What were cassavas? Shao Sanlang and his wife lost interest immediately. This did not look like food. Qiao Xian cherished the bundle and smiled. It is a precious thing. It can grow anywhere, just like taros, easy to grow in the soil. After we dig it out, we can remove the skin, bleach it, steam, boil and bake it, and then eat it. Otherwise, we can also mash it to extract starch, which can be used to make various pastries. It is a precious thing. More importantly, with cassavas available, she could open dessert stores in the near future. The flour could be used to make taro balls and even milk tea with small balls. That is all food. So amazing, it should be tasty. Everyone was pleasantly surprised and interested after hearing the explanation. Xiao smiled. I wrote a letter to my elder brother about this and he inquired about these foreign seeds. So the seeds were found. They said that the plant would live once it touched the soil. Not sure if that is true. Qiao Xian smiled. I have never tried that before, but I believe it. She had no idea how to plant it, but she could ask the space for help. It was cut into sections of 2 or 3 inches long with an oblique knife edge. As long as there were bud bags and cuttings on each section, it could stay alive. The stalks appeared to be dormant currently, but still alive. It could not be kept for too long. If the buds were still for too long, it would simply become a bundle of dry firewood. So, Qiao Xian asked Shao Sanlang to store the bunch in the cellar, and decided to find a corner place to plant in the garden. After this, she was going to buy hundreds of mu of fields, even slopes, for next year's planting. It also depended on the dessert store's requirements. So, 40 mu should be enough for the next year and more could be planted in the future. Qiao Xian was not very assured to plant this in the Zhang village. New things were always very interesting for villagers to see. She could watch over it if the plants were here, but not in the Zhang village. For example, if she wanted to expand the scale of snow fungus, then she would need to build a huge house in the village or close to the village and enclose the plants, so that no one could steal them. Everyone became really interested in this new item. As a result, in the afternoon, Qiao Xian, Tao Tao and Yang Xiaoni made jelly with brown sugar water. Chapter 593, Interrogation. Xia Jingrong and Yuezhing Shao were very interested in going to the mountains. In the following 3 days, Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian accompanied them into the mountain all the time. They were not tired and even hunted many animals, and found a lot of mountain stuff, making them more and more fascinated. Qiao Xian was lucky enough to have found some wild-growing snow fungus as well as 2 Ganoderma lucidum. Yuezhing Shao and Xia Jingrong had never had the experience of finding precious things personally, so they were both very surprised. Qiao Xian and the others did not think that the experience was strange. They asked the 2 young masters to take the precious things they picked back to their homes. She had so many snow fungus in the space, dozens of bundles, so these were not at all precious to her. 3 days later, Yuezhing Shao and Xia Jingrong went back in satisfaction. They both wanted to visit the place next time. Yuezhing Shao even carried back 1 batch of completed lipsticks this time, 420 pieces in total. The 2 of them had a few local stuff, including yubas, dried tofu, tofu cream skin and puffs received from the Yen family. Yuezhing Shao was going to talk about the bean product business with his father. He even expressed that he would ask a good manager to pass on congratulations on behalf of the Yuezhing family when the Yen family's workshop started. That was going to be done mainly for the Yen family. In this way, no competitors would dare to pull any tricks. Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan agreed. It was always good to be prepared. If the Yuezhing family paid attention to this business, they did not need to worry about anything anymore. The Yen family's bean products, including tofu, would definitely sell well. After the guests left, Shao Yunduan was asked to go back and study, whilst the others started to get busy with other things. They first planted cassavas, then took honey, beeswax, and divided the bee colony for lipsticks. Yuezhing Shao had delivered the tubes for the limited version lipsticks. They needed to hurry up so they could be sold in the market in the first quarter of the year. It was good that they had 6 more maids to help them, so they could work faster. Shao Liulang returned from the college 2 days after Yuezhing Shao and Xia Jingrong left. There was a 1-month holiday from every college in the busy spring plow time every year. Shao Liulang stayed back for a couple of days at the college even though the holiday started 2 days earlier. The moment he came home, he rushed to the first section of the family, asking Miss Fang. "Eldest aunt, where is my cousin? Did you have guests a few days ago? Why did no one inform me about it?" Miss Fang. Liulang was almost as stubborn as his eldest uncle. Why should he be informed about the arrival of the guests? Miss Fang felt lucky that Shao Liulang had not been here in those days. "Why did we need to inform you? How is it related to you? Young Master Xia never even asked about you." Shao Liulang felt irritated. Young Master Xia is a scholar and he and his friends are elegant people. You would not know how to treat them well. Cousin alone is not enough, I should have come and helped you. Miss Fang turned impatient. That is enough. They had a great time here with us. There was no need for any help from you. You either go home to help with labor or study in your room. You. I can't get the message through your head ever. Miss Fang snorted, thinking that he was the one who could not figure out the truth. Duan had already told him straightforwardly what he thought and this man still believed in himself. He still behaved as if Duan was trying to stop him and the guests from hanging out together. Chapter 594, Not friends. He needed to speak with the guests and figure that out. If the guests really wanted to befriend him, Shao Yunduan would have gone and asked him, and if he was needed, he could even be informed at the college. but no one asked for him. Xiao Liulang still believed that Xiao Yunduan must have set this up, because Xiao Yunduan did not want to let him hang out with anyone. He had failed the examinations a few times, and even though he did not say anything, Xiao Liulang was panicking inside the heart. That was why he wanted to befriend some wealthy and talented people desperately, so as to show that he was capable enough to be recognized, and also gain their help. Hence, he felt furious when he heard his mother telling him about the guests at the first section of the family. Obviously, he would only blame others for this. He felt that what belonged to him was stolen away by Xiao Yunduan. Xiao Liulang felt that his eldest aunt was just being unreasonable, so he went straight into Xiao Yunduan's yard to speak to him. But the door was shut from inside. He did not manage to push it open. "Open the door, cousin." Xiao Liulang banged the door. No one answered it. Xiao Liulang continued. The two doors were sealed. Nis. Fang laughed and turned around. Xiao Liulang was very loud, so Xiao Yunduan heard his voice through the open window, thus shutting the door early on. He was not going to talk with him about this anymore. Absolute waste of effort. It was correct what his wife had said earlier. One could never wake up someone who pretended to sleep. He was going to see how much longer Xiao Liulang was going to pretend to be asleep. The door was not opened after a long while, and he finally got tired. He turned to go back to Miss Fang. "Eldest aunt, why is the door shut?" Miss Fang answered casually. "He is studying, so he doesn't hear or respond to anyone. You know that when Yunduan is devoted towards his studies, he cuts himself away from everything. If you want to speak with him, you can come back tomorrow." Xiao Liulang was very stupid and easy to deal with. Funny and annoying. Miss Fang made only casual efforts to push him away. Xiao Liulang felt so irritated. He felt that the first section of the family was getting very unfriendly. He claimed himself to be a learned man, and had no words to argue further with Miss Fang. Xiao Yunduan ignored him, so he really was at a loss. "All right, I will come back tomorrow." Xiao Liulang left with his head lowered. Miss Fang pursed her lips, and shut the gate. But Xiao Liulang showed up in the evening again. The family was home and it was bustling in the yard. Xiao Yunduan was just speaking with Xianxia after reading the book for the entire day. Xiao Liulang accused Xiao Yunduan of not inviting him over, but Xiao Yunduan did not want to deal with him, leaving Xiao Liulang talking on his own. Eldest uncle could not stand such behavior from his son. He consoled Xiao Liulang and then looked at Xiao Yunduan. "Yunduan, do remember to inform your cousin when you have guests coming over next time. You are all learned people, and you can have a lively talk. If you share some ideas, you can help each other improve." Xiao Yunduan replied calmly, hearing this usual talk from his father. Brother Xie doesn't know cousin well enough. Chapter 595, Problem with the third section of the family. Xiao Liulang got so irritated when he heard that. "But, we had such a nice conversation last time." Xiao Yunduan. Still, none of them mentioned cousins at any point in time. "Did you ever hear them mention him, Dad?" Eldest uncle got stuck in words. Xiao Liulang turned furious. "You must have messed it up. You are just jealous of me." Xianxia blinked her eyes, looking confused. "But cousin, why must you befriend young Master Xie? You have so many disciples at the college whom you can befriend, right?" Xiao Yunduan turned a smiling face at Xianxia. Xiao Liulang stiffened. Why must he befriend young Master Xie? They were Xiao Yunduan's friends and, of course, they were going to stand by Xiao Yunduan's side. He would not get anything good out of them. He knew that. But he just did not feel convinced. He wanted to put Xiao Yunduan into shadow. Just wait and see. Xiao Liulang left the place in anger. He was going to surpass Xiao Yunduan in the future. Xianxia felt that Ms. Yan had already controlled the second section of the family by gathering forces with Xiao Xilang. Ms. Niu and second uncle were focused on the Yan family, so they had not disturbed them for a while. They would stop coming to the first section of the family when they found that the Yan family could earn them money, and it would help them live a better life. But the third section of the family was still a very difficult thorn to deal with. Xiao Liulang was incapable, but arrogant, thinking highly of himself. If he failed the examination every time, he would keep babbling. If he did make it through, he would not be a good officer. He would only cause trouble, for himself and others. Qiao Xian hoped that he would never make it to the cultivated talent. Back at home, Ms. Ma felt so sorry for Xiao Liulang. She said angrily, "I know they are all bad people. They want us to have bad luck. Just don't visit them anymore. Xiao Yunduan will distract you, due to which you may not be able to clear your exams. You should study hard so that he can shut up one and for all." Xiao Liulang felt even worse. Of course, he knew that he could shut him up in this way. But it was very difficult to pass the exam. He had thought that it was very easy to make it to cultivated talent, and he even aimed at becoming an advanced scholar. At the time, he never cared about the title of cultivated talent. But he was not at all confident about any of this any longer. Days passed, and all the preparations were done. The cassavas started to bud. Qiao Xian found the green scenery so beautiful and lovely. When it matured in autumn and they got the flour, they could make all kinds of soft and chewy taro balls, and balls for bubble tea. They could also mix the flour with pure flour or glutinous rice flour to make various glutinous rice cakes, dim sums, etc. Qiao Xian spared some time to take Qi and Tao Tao into the town and sold the honey to manager Qin. Then, they visited the land agent to buy the slope located next to the flour field. The field was bought and other work should be done after the farming period was over. Then, it would be time to concentrate on cassavas. The plants needed to be planted on the mountain, shielded from animals, so the villagers would not find that interesting. If someone wanted to plant it next year, she would even provide free stems and teach how to plant it, as well as teach different ways to eat taros and to make it. They could start to plant watermelons after the visit from town. She was also going to ask Ding Erju and others to plant some watermelons at the Zhang village this year. Chapter 596, Invitation. Xiao Xian did not want Xiao Yunduan to tag along. But Xiao Yunduan wasn't assured that she should face it alone. He spared some time to keep her company. Xiao Sanlang and Yang Xiaoni followed up after getting the approval of Ms. Fang, since they were done with their work. They were greedy for the food in the town. Qiao Xian cooked well, but there were many interesting things to eat in the town as well. Foodies never turned away any opportunity to eat. So, the brothers and sisters, 6 people altogether, went into the town together. The donkey cart was not enough to hold them all, due to the people on it and the honey. Xiao Sanlang hired the bull cart to carry the honey, and rode it with Yang Xiaoni. Manager Qin had been missing them after not seeing them for a long time, and mentioned this when they reached Mingren Tang. The honey which Qiao Xian offered was so good that there were no impurities inside. It was of a great quality. Manager Qin bought all the 130 kilograms of honey they had brought, and they only had 15 kilograms left for their own use. Qiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan separated from the others after this, and decided to meet again at Manager Qin's place in the afternoon. The couple went to find the land agent. The land agent felt very guilty about what happened to them at the Zhang village. Hearing that they were going to buy more land, he promised that he was going to make sure that all went well this time around. Ding Jiahao was not the land officer for the village, but someone from the Shao family. So they could easily get the barren land, which Qiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan were not worried about. 100 mu sounded like a large area, but the slope did not seem like a big place visually. They could plant the cassavas on the slope, which fitted the geography well. They decided to buy something on the street when they ran into the wagon from the Qiao mansion. It was Madame Qiao's maid, and she stopped when she saw Liao Xian and Xiao Yunduan. She had the wagon pulled over and called out their names. "Second Miss, and second young master, what a coincidence. Old master and Madame Qiao were just about to invite you home. Come with me, please." Qiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan exchanged a look and were taken aback. This was not a coincidence. If they had not run into the woman, she would be heading towards Shouting village to find them. That would have been horrible. The big house was not as magnificent as that in the town, but for villagers, it was already huge. If Madame Qiao learned about that, it would be bad. But why were they being invited to the mansion? Qiao Xian smiled. Do you know what they want me for? Auntie Ling smiled. I am not sure. You will know when you reach there. Come in, please. Qiao Xian had foreseen that Auntie Ling would not tell them anything, but she could tell that it was not something good. You can go first and inform them. I will be there with my husband. Auntie Ling answered happily, since she had not wanted to share the wagon with them anyways. Please, second miss, and second young master, don't make old master and Madame Qiao wait for long. Sure. Auntie Ling said no more and asked the coachman to head back to the mansion. Chapter 597. Sharing information. Auntie Ling did not believe that the couple would dare turn her down. In fact, she was right. The couple exchanged a look between themselves. The look spoke louder than any words. It must be because of the Zhao family. Officer Qiao had already given up on his daughter and the poor countryside son-in-law. They had no interest in them at all. Same went for Madame Qiao. Unless there were other reasons. They must have heard about the Zhang village from the Zhao family, or even about Shao. That was why they needed to ask the couple what was going on. Old Master Zhao was a very stingy and narrow-minded person. Shao's appearance had suppressed him, but he could have sold them out to Officer Qiao. In fact, they made a mistake thinking old Master Zhao had done this. It was Zhao Ming who revealed it. But for Zhao Ming's mother who had been sick a while ago, County Magistrate Qiao would have summoned them a few days earlier. Anyway, let's see what is going on. First of all, we need to decide upon what we are going to say. Shao Yunduan answered and consoled her. Don't worry. We can always head to the province for a few days. Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao would not be able to do anything to them when they were in the province, which was very far away. Also, Shao and Xie would be of help if they needed it. They could repay the favor in the future, if they took one now. They were just unlucky enough to have run into a shameless couple like County Magistrate Qiao and his wife. Qiao Xian agreed. She was much calmer now and nodded with a smile. This is enough. We have nothing to worry about now. The couple sorted through the whole thing about the Zhang village and decided to make it look like it was Shao's business. They bore all of these points in mind. After this, they would write a letter to Shao and ask him to handle it accordingly. In this way, Officer Qiao would not have any way to find evidence to the contrary. They headed to the mansion after they reached an agreement. They were not delayed by too long on the way. The longer they lingered, the more angry the people waiting would become. There was no need to irritate them now. In the hall of the Qiao mansion, Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan walked in and sensed the seriousness floating in the air. Madame Qiao and County Magistrate Qiao cast a sharp look at them. Qiao Wei was present there too. She screamed. How dare you two? Concubine Du and Xiao Ko were not present. They were not qualified enough to hear the interrogation. Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were startled, and turned to the main seat in confusion. Greetings, father-in-law and mother-in-law. Greetings, father and mother. The couple stepped forward and greeted them calmly. Madame Qiao sneered. Qiao Wei interrogated again. How did you get in touch with the Zhang family? When did that happen? How dare you conceal that from us? Bah! Officer Qiao sounded furious, asking coldly. Did you hear what Wei said? Spill it now. Shao Yunduan was startled, as if he had no idea what made the Qiao family so angry. He replied calmly. Father-in-law, that happened last year. We were working in the mountains, when we ran into some wild watermelons, so we picked them. What? Watermelons? Qiao Wei shouted. She felt even more annoyed. That was what she had been dreaming about since last year and she wished to have a lot of them. But she failed to eat any, and that made her so uncomfortable in the past summer. But Qiao Xian and this man found watermelons? Chapter 598, Belief. Both Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao became annoyed as well. Yeah. Shao Yunduan was confused. He sounded quite normal, and reacted to them in a confused manner which surprised them. We picked many watermelons to take home, and happened to run into young Master Yuezheng and young Master Xie. Young Master Yuezheng was very interested in the watermelons, so he bought them all right away. He gave us some extra money as well. They asked where we found them. That was how we befriended each other. Later, young Master Yuezheng decided to open tea fields at the Zhang village, saying that the mountains are very good and the soil is rich, so he bought many fields at the Zhang village, when someone was selling the paddy fields. He bought them all and hired us to take care of them because he was too far away to take care of them. Officer Qiao's face stiffened. Why you? Shao Yunduan looked very calm and thought for a while in a leisurely manner. Asked young Master Yuezheng the reason as well. I am not experienced, right? I may ruin things. But young Master Yuezheng said that I was the best candidate for the job, so I accepted it. Also, I can earn 2 liang a month, which is a great deal, thus I signed the contract. Qiao Xian had her head lowered and was almost ready to burst out with laughter. Her husband sounded really excited and proud as he mentioned the income of 2 liang. It all sounded so real. They had more than 120,000 liang in cash currently, and their properties would be worth more than 20,000 liang. They were constantly generating money from lipsticks, and soon they would start getting profits from tea bricks and bean products as well as the dessert stores that would be launched soon. Her husband did not look like a liar when he spoke with so much conviction and vigor. It was so funny. She would have absolutely trusted his words if she had not known the truth. She simply decided to hide herself next to this big actor husband of hers. Officer Qiao and his family bought his story, and they all looked very disdainful. Madame Qiao and Xiao Wei were also thinking that this man was so shallow-minded to be this happy at being paid 2 liang a month. Officer Qiao was also very disappointed and angry, feeling that he had missed the best time to establish a relationship with the Yuezheng family. How stupid was that? Maybe this man did not even know what the Yuezheng family was like in the province. You are telling the truth? Of course. I am not bold enough to lie to you, officer father-in-law. I don't think you do. If I find otherwise, I will punish you. Officer Qiao sounded fierce and snapped at Shao Yunduan. Why didn't you tell us about this important thing? I am your father-in-law, Officer Qiao. That was the most annoying part. Shao Yunduan showed a very strange expression. He was startled and said, didn't think that this was an important thing, officer father-in-law. You are busy with so many issues, and I didn't realize that you would be interested in a matter that brings in 2 liang a month. I would have told you, had I known about this. What 2 liang? Officer Qiao snapped. Don't care about the 2 liang, I am talking about. Officer Qiao was so angry that he could not say anything further. Chapter 599, Stuck with words. Officer Qiao leveled a disdainful look at Shao Yunduan. Stupid, annoying and narrow-minded man. He would never advance any further in his life. 2 liang was nothing. He did not give a damn about the money. He cared about the connection with young Master Yuezheng and the Yuezheng family from the province. That was the Yuezheng family from the province. They had such a huge business even spread across the northwest, and they were in touch with the capital as well. They might not be as good as the Xie family, but they could bring them great benefits if they built a friendship with each other. He needed money to get himself back to the capital. This stupid man did not know anything about the Yuezheng family. He had no idea what he had missed. If young Master Yuezheng drops by next time, one should be informed directly, understood? Yes, officer father-in-law. Officer Qiao frowned, thinking that this title felt so annoying. But this low-class countryside man was his son-in-law and he could not be stopped from calling him father-in-law. Officer Qiao felt even worse. You remember the young master next to young Master Yuezheng? Yuezheng Shao was always together with Xie Jingrong, which was a fact and they knew that well. Shao Yunduan nodded. Yes, a very noble-looking and handsome young master. But he doesn't like to talk much. Officer Qiao snorted. That was young Master Xia, the lineal eldest grandson of the real noble family. It was enough that he was seen by Shao Yunduan. Officer Qiao thought to himself. He would never talk with someone like you, stupid son-in-law. Shao Yunduan was very good at reading Officer Qiao's mind. So, Officer Qiao did not doubt what he said. He opened his mouth and closed again. He was not going to tell Shao Yunduan who young Master Xia was. He did not deserve that. What was the point of telling him who young Master Xia was? Young Master Xia would not even lay his eyes on him or befriend him. If Officer Qiao knew that young Master Xia had given Shao Yunduan all the excellent sample texts and books and taken him to the high-profile gathering held for the literati, and even expressed that he wanted to help Shao Yunduan's younger brother Qi, Officer Qiao would probably vomit out blood. Officer Qiao said, "Anyway, they are all noble people. You have to inform me when you meet again. Be careful not to offend them. Don't be greedy so as to take advantage of them, understood?" "Yes, Officer Father-in-law." Officer Qiao took a deep breath and was in a better mood. But after a moment, he felt annoyed again when he thought of what he had missed. This son-in-law of his was totally useless. Qiao Wei clenched her teeth. "You talked about watermelons?" Madame Qiao was upset too, and threw a displeased look at the couple. Shao Yunduan showed a confused look, and nodded. "Yeah, why didn't you deliver those watermelons to us?" Qiao Wei had been holding back this question for so long. She did not dare disturb her father when he was discussing serious business. When her father was finally done, she burst out. Shao Yunduan still looked confused, asking hesitantly. "Those are just some wild-growing fruits from the fields, and can't be used as a present. We did not dare give them out as presents to you. Do you like them?" "How unfortunate." Shao Yunduan looked as if he really thought it was unfortunate. Qiao Wei was totally gagged with anger. Chapter 600, Disrespect to Parents. She could not just say that she wanted it. That would make her look greedy for things from the countryside. Madame Qiao answered instead of her. "Watermelons are the best fruits to drive away thirst in summer. And they can't be found anywhere. You don't know about this, but Xian, you should know it, right? They just did not know how to respect parents. How heartless they were." Officer Qiao snorted and turned to look at Xiao Xian in displeasure. Xiao Xian looked very weak as she looked up at them three, replying in a small voice. Elle didn't know. Madame Qiao was startled and thought of how Xiao Xian never got to eat watermelons. Xiao Xian was always very quiet and she never went out of the yard. So, it was reasonable that she did not know about it. Qiao Wei snorted. "Now you know what they are. If you find them henceforth, you should give them to us." Xiao Xian nodded anxiously. Elle will bear that in mind. Shao Yunduan added his words as well. "You like watermelons. I will try to find them this year." "Ah. I don't remember where I found them last year." Officer Qiao's family had a bad look on their faces. The couple was so annoying. Officer Qiao asked more about the tea fields and other business, but Shao Yunduan displayed limited knowledge. Officer Qiao believed his words completely. Young Master Zhang had just asked him to take care of the fields and he did not need to do anything else. He should have no knowledge of anything. Since the properties weren't theirs, Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao lost interest but stressed to them that they should report to them when young Master Zhang came over next time around. Then, they let them leave. Xiao Xian felt that her throat was parched when they left. They had not even had a sip of water after they walked into the mansion. But Xiao Xian was not angry. She regarded the Qiao family as strangers, and she was not going to change her opinion. "Are you thirsty, darling? Let's drink some tea at the tea house." "Okay, let's go and drink some tea and then go home." They smiled at each other. It cost dozens of yuan in the tea house. Shao Yunduan earned 2 liang a month, so they could afford the visit to the tea house. This matter was handled well, but they were going to a letter to Yuezheng Shao to explain the matter. Yuezheng Shao needed to be careful about sending his men in the future. But they were not going to be like this for long. When Shao Yunduan became the recommended man, and went further up the next level, the Qiao family would not be able to control him. It was already very lucky for them to live to the present time. If the Qiao family learned the truth, they might have a different reaction. After the tea house, they went back to the clinic. The family gathered there and bought some fresh meat, before heading home together. They were startled today, so they needed to eat something nice to soothe their nerves. Fresh pork belly was cooked and steamed, half of the pork ribs were roasted with fresh bamboo shoots, and half of them were made into a sweet and sour dish. Shao Yunduan and Xiao did not tell anyone in the family about the matter at her natal family. The following day, Xiao started to plant watermelons. Unfortunately, due to what happened the day before, she could not plant watermelons in Zhang village. She did not want to cause any further trouble. Chapter 601, Truth. She would just ignore her father's request about sending over watermelons. They were not going to give any to them. After Qiao and Shao Yunduan left the mansion, Officer Qiao went back to the study. Qiao Wei was very angry and could not help but complain about Qiao for being bold. She would only feel happy if Qiao lived a terrible life. But her husband got in touch with the young master from the Yuezheng family. Moreover, he became a director for his fields. Also, they earned 2 liang a month. 2 liang was her pocket money as the daughter of a county magistrate. Hence, in her eyes, Qiao life had been greatly improved. More importantly, they revealed nothing about it to the family. Even though they might not know what the Yuezheng family was like, they should reveal the matter to the family, right? Mom, Qiao likes talking nonsense, but I believe her in one thing. Qiao is very honest on the surface, but she has all kinds of tricks going on in her mind. Don't think that this thing is as simple as they claimed. They may not be telling the truth. Madame Qiao frowned. She did not think that Xiao and Shao Yunduan would dare to make up stories. Xiao grew up under her watch and she knew exactly what she was like. But Qiao must have stepped into that and made Xiao a tricky one. Your dad has already taught her a lesson and you should leave this issue here. That man wouldn't lie because he doesn't dare to. Madame Qiao tried to console Qiao Wei. Qiao Wei was not convinced and kept feeling that something was wrong. A few days later, Ming came and visited Qiao Wei, who started cribbing to her. Ming was startled. She was here to visit Qiao Wei because she thought that Qiao Wei would be very glad and thank her for finding some bad things about the sister she hated. But she herself had not even figured things out clearly. Ming felt very annoyed. She could not blame Qiao Wei for this. So, she made up her mind and wanted to get some information about Xiao and the Shao family just to prove that she was right. Ming came to her second brother and had a chat with him. She mentioned Liulang, and tried to get some information about the Shao family. Liulang should know a lot of things about the internal matters of the house. The eyes of that stupid man brightened whenever he saw her. Ming could get anything out of Liulang's mouth. If she asked, Liulang would tell her for sure. She was confident about that. When Zhao Guanghua heard about the Shao family, he could not help but think of Yang Xiani's beautiful face. He could not even remember what his sister asked. The two siblings talked with each other happily, since they were talking about the same family. Ming knew that the college was closed at the moment for holidays, and would not open until 1 month later. So, she dropped the idea and decided to wait until Liulang returned, so that she could find an opportunity to talk to him. The Yen family's workshop was soon ready, and the opening day was decided upon. Chapter 602, Officer Qiao's plan. The Yen family decided to keep yubas and tofu cream skin as the main products, dried tofu next and puffs. They had some tofu because they had no time to travel to sell them. So, they decided to sell just a few. It was very lively on the opening day. The Yen family had been running business for years, and they had many good friends and clients. Everyone was willing to be present on the occasion. The Yan family had already released the news that someone from the Yuezheng family would be present, and the Yuezheng family was very interested in the bean products and had already booked a large patch of it. So, even more people were willing to join the ceremony because they wanted to have a relationship with the Yuezheng family. The Yuezheng family was one of the top business families in the province. Even a small portion of their share would feed the minor business people for their life. Officer Qiao learned about the arrival of the Yuezheng family. He could not help but pay attention to the Yan family. His strategist found out that the daughter of the Yan family was married to Shao Yunduan's cousin, so the Yan family was actually a little related to his own family. Officer Qiao felt very complicated in his heart. On the opening day, Officer Qiao asked his strategist to check out the show without exposing himself. He wanted to try and befriend the person from the Yuezheng family, because he was sure that Yuezheng Shao would not come to the event personally. Otherwise, the Yan family would tell the public that it was Yuezheng Shao who was present. If it was the young master of Yuezheng who came over, Officer Qiao and the strategist would show up and even ask him to join them at the mansion for accommodation and treat them to dinner. If it was just a manager, Officer Qiao would not demean himself to suck up to him. Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian would not have shown up on this day, but since Shao Yunduan revealed that he was related to Yuezheng Shao in some way, he would have to be present at the workshop of the Yan family who was also related to Yuezheng Shao in a way now. So, the couple decided to let Shao Yunduan be present. He just needed to show his face there. Officer Qiao would believe that Shao Yunduan was just showing up for Yuezheng Shao's sake. The others who knew Shao Yunduan and were aware that the Shao family and the Yan family were relatives, would take him as a relative representative. The interesting part was that the whole second section of the family was present, including Ms. Niu. In fact, neither Ms. Yan nor the Yan family wanted to have so many people from the Shao family to be present. Shao Xilang and Ms. Yan were enough, along with second uncle plus one more, at most. But Ms. Niu took Nis. Zhang's advice and wanted to take a look at it too. Ms. Zhang said to Shao Erlang that she wanted to go there as well. Ms. Yan did not like it, but had to accept their proposal. So, the entire second section of the family went there. Ms. Yan felt so annoyed. She had to agree to the request, and felt sorry for the first section of the family. It was how it felt when those you did not like stuck to you all the time. But for her powerful family, and her own idea of living apart in the near future, she would feel depressed living such a life. Chapter 603, Opening Day. On this very day, the second section of the family was present. They had wanted to borrow the donkey cart from the first section of the family, but Ms. Yan vetoed that down. She said that there should be no one who would take care of it, and the first section of the family would need it too. Ms. Niu and second uncle were in a good mood, and did not disagree with Ms. Yan. They did not want to argue with her at the moment. So, she did not say anything anymore. Ms. Zhang sneered. "You are so nice to the first section of the family." Ms. Yan felt disgusted and immediately countered. "They are our eldest aunt and eldest uncle, and they have helped us so much in the past. Is it so wrong that I am nice to them? Also, I just don't want to bother them again. Is that being nice to them? That sounds so embarrassing." Ms. Zhang got so angry that she turned around sullenly. The Yan family accepted Xiao Xian's suggestion and finally built the workshop on the flat, barren field which was spread across 20 mu. They hired people to dig and fill up the land, and it was very smooth, occupying 5 or 6 mu of the total land. When the business picked up, and money was sufficient, they could expand the occupied land. The ceremony was being held at the workshop and the tools were locked in the room, completely isolated from the others. For the occasion, sweets such as candy and peanuts were distributed, and gifts from everyone were accepted as congratulations and greetings. The guests were invited to sit at home for a meal. The Yan family had a good reputation and many people were present. 8 tables were laid, and the second section of the family took up half of the table. The cook from the village was hired to make the dishes. Second uncle and Ms. Niu met Shao Yunduan too. They were both very proud. They showed off in front of Shao Yunduan as if they were the owner of the workshop. Shao Yunduan ignored Thor's behavior and simply agreed to whatever they said. He did not want to cause any trouble. He had some shares in the workshop as well. What was the point of arguing with them? So, Ms. Niu and second uncle became even prouder, as if the whole family had flown away already. More importantly, Ms. Niu even asked Shao Yunduan how much money he gave as a gift. You are our nephew and a learned scholar. You are rich, so you need to give them a big amount, right? Shao Yunduan nodded. Yeah. Ms. Niu looked interested. How much? Shao Yunduan answered. My mom gave the gift. I have no idea. Ms. Niu. How disappointing. Ms. Fong was stingy and she could not have given much. In fact, Shao Yunduan gave them 2 liang as a gift, which was very high. At the lunch, Old Master invited second uncle, Shao Yunduan and Shao Xilang to the main table and asked his 2 sons, wife and daughter-in-laws to receive other guests. Ms. Zhang saw that Shao Erlang was not at the main table, and felt really annoyed. Why was Shao Yunduan at the table, but not her husband? So, when Mrs. Yan came to greet Ms. Niu, Ms. Zhang said half-jokingly, Mrs. Yan, why is my husband not on the main table like his brothers? Wulang is from my eldest uncle's family, he should not be sitting there, right? Only then did Ms. Niu notice this detail. Chapter 604, Lecture NIS. Niu felt displeased as well. Yeah, that seems so strange. People would surely think that my son isn't as good as others. Ms. Zhang could not help frowning. She felt that too. But she did not want to speak it out loud. Mrs. Yan could not help but sneer inwardly. What on earth was wrong with this mother-in-law and daughter-in-law? Who were they to come to the Yan family and teach them what to do? Especially Ms. Zhang, her daughter had complained enough about her. Mrs. Yan was not afraid that this mother and daughter-in-law would set up her daughter after this. Her daughter was not someone who would bear the misery. If she ran into a problem, the Yan family would definitely stand up for her. Shao Erlang and Shao Xilang would never end up working in the Yan family, and they could even get a divorce. Mrs. Yan smiled brightly. She said softly, that won't work. Shao Wulang is the cultivated talent, and my husband pays attention to scholars. Also, Shao Wulang has to be at the main table. As for Erlang, we are related, so we don't have to care much about this. He takes up an empty place and that is not suitable. Anyone who dares to call it a bad thing, I will drive that person out. You can just tell me if anyone dares to talk about it. That kind of woman should not be kept here. We don't need friends like them. NIS. Zhang opened her mouth slightly and felt embarrassed. She felt as if Mrs. Yan was talking about her. Ms. Niu was not as sensitive as Mrs. Yan. She felt a little embarrassed but laughed. You are right, that sounds reasonable. Just be ready to eat. Don't worry, no one will look down at your son. Mrs. Yan left with a smile after a few sweet words. Ms. Zhang did not dare to say anything more. She knew that Mrs. Yan was not someone to be offended. In fact, no one from the Yan family was to be offended. She felt very jealous. She could not override her sister-in-law, instead got overwhelmed by her. After the banquet, the guests left. The Shao family could not leave right away and stayed until the end. Ms. Zhang was very jealous, but seeing this workshop, she tried to tell Ms. Niu to coax the Yan family so that her husband could come and earn some money here as well. Ms. Niu agreed with her. When she was saying goodbye to the Yan family, she mentioned this to them. Ms. Yan almost wanted to slap hard across Ms. Zhang's face. Her mother-in-law was really shameless. So was the sister-in-law. Mrs. Yan sneered in her heart but did not say a thing. Mr. Yan was silent for a while and smiled after a pause. Don't worry, we will tell you if we need more people, for my daughter's sake. He still did not tell her an exact date. Ms. Niu was about to say something more when Shao Yunduan coughed. Second uncle and second aunt-in-law, you want to go home on our donkey cart? I am leaving now. Chapter 605, Over the Top MS. Yan smiled. That's good. Thanks, cousin. What are you worried about, mother-in-law, now that my dad has promised you? You trust him, don't you? Ms. Niu, of course, had to say yes. She smiled. Of course, yes, of course. Mrs. Yan smiled. Good that you trust us. We take care of our family. Don't worry, and stay away from those who try to turn you against us all the time. Ms. Zhang looked straight at Mrs. Yan, and she felt sharpness hitting her head when she saw Mrs. Yan's cold look. The Yan family was just way over the top. Ms. Niu also felt a little guilty, denying it quickly. No, of course not, that won't happen, Mrs. Yan laughed loudly. Yeah. I was just saying that. Don't think much about it. I won't, of course not. After this rebuttal, Ms. Niu and second uncle had no way to say anything further on the topic. They did not dare to think that the Yan family was being oppressive. After all, they ran the workshop and the Yan family was far richer than their own family. Also, their sons were more successful than her own. The Yan family was helping them, so they had to be thankful for it. They would not dare to make the Yan family angry, considering that they were very aggressive and hot-tempered. Therefore, Ms. Niu and second uncle only dared to talk loud at home. Soon the second section of the family went onto the donkey cart, except for Shao Xilang who stayed back and helped. Even Ms. Yan followed them home first. Ms. Yan had intended to stay to keep her mother company, but she was worried that Ms. Zhang would again whisper something to their mother-in-law, so she decided to go back. She would come back to her mother whenever she felt like it. The whole gang went on together. Ms. Niu and second uncle were quite happy. They had watched the ceremony and were very proud that they could be part of it. Ms. Yan let out a sigh of relief seeing them talk happily. Only Ms. Zhang threw a distressed look at her husband. Shao Erlang was their elder son and her in-laws did not even care about him. They went to flatter Shao Xilang instead. The Yan family was even flattering Shao Yunduan, someone from the first section of the family. So, no one respected her husband. What position did they have at home? Ms. Yan was going to bully her to death. Her husband was useless as well. He did not bother to step forward to help himself. That was why he was always bullied. Back at the village, when the cart had just been pulled over, Ms. Zhang got so annoyed that she could not help but feel like doing something bad. She reached out and gave Ms. Yan, who was getting off the cart, a push. Ms. Yan let out a scream and staggered forward, almost tripping herself over. Her heart throbbed as she turned to Ms. Zhang in anger. Both Ms. Niu and second uncle were startled. Are you okay? Ms. Zhang felt very happy but showed an apologetic smile. Sorry, fourth sister-in-law, your niece and nephew pushed you accidentally, but you are fine. Ms. Yan pursed her lips and slapped right across Ms. Zhang's face. That loud noise shocked everyone. Stop pretending. Ms. Yan pointed at Ms. Zhang with a sneer. It was not the kids who pushed me. It was you. You think I couldn't feel it? I don't accept this stupid excuse. Chapter 606, Unconvinced, you can confront me openly. What is the point of playing tricks behind someone's back? If you don't like me, we can live separately. I won't stand in your way, okay? Angry and irritated, Ms. Zhang felt the pain on her swollen cheek. Covering up her cheek with her palm, she burst into tears. Didn't. You are accusing me of something I didn't do. Oh God, you hit me. I am your sister-in-law. What rules are you following? No, you can bully me because your family has money, and you have never liked me. But, you can't accuse me of wrongdoings. Oh my God, one gave birth to children for the Shao family and one work all the time. In return, is this all I can get? Even you dare to hit me. Stop it now. Ms. Niu got so angry and dragged Ms. Yan into the yard, bellowing at Ms. Zhang to follow in. They could not just keep talking outside, else they were giving the village a free show. Ms. Zhang did not want to go in, and she bellowed even more loudly. Ms. Yen walked into the yard and threw her a cold look. Shao Xiaoji got frightened and dashed off. Ms. Niu could not get her in alone. She snapped at Shao Erlang. Are you dead? Drag her in. We will talk when we are inside. Only then did Shao Erlang recover and walk forward. The mother and the son dragged Ms. Zhang into the yard and shut the door. Shao Yunduan was speechless standing outside. He shook his head and went back home. There was going to be a lively show at the second section of the family. The second cousin-in-law was a very narrow-minded person, and she liked to dig into small things. She was going to hate the couple soon. But the Yen family was more powerful and the fourth cousin-in-law behaved better than she did, enjoying a favorable position in the second section of the family. So, even if the slap never happened, she would not be hanging out with her sister-in-law anyway. The Yen family was not something to be bullied. Fourth sister-in-law might not be brought down by Ms. Zhang. Ms. Zhang was dragged into the yard by Ms. Niu and Shao Erlang, and she struggled hard because of the pain. She kept banging against Shao Erlang, crying and hitting him. You useless thing. You are bullying me together with them. I want to die. Just stop it. Ms. Niu got angry as she saw how she hit her son. She dragged her away and snapped. How dare you cry like this? Why did you push Ms. Yen? You dare blame others for your wrongdoings? Elle didn't push her. Ms. Zhang screamed and retorted. You believe everything she said? You are so biased. Then she started to cry again. It is my fault, right? My family can't do anything for me, and you all look down at me. Oh my, I have such a terrible MS. Niu got even more annoyed. How unreasonable. You dare to mention your family? You have sneaked out so many things from our home to yours and I should have made my son give you a divorce. How dare you mention your family? Ms. Zhang sneered in return. You wanted to do that ages ago, didn't you? But your grandson can't live without a mother and hence, you have to keep me because of this reason. Ms. Niu was boiling. So you go on behaving like this because you have a son? Try me. I can still throw you out. How dare you rebel? Chapter 607, No Apology. Shao Erlang thought that his mother was serious about it. He panicked. Mom, don't, shut up, you useless thing. Ms. Niu snapped. Nis. Zhang felt proud and cried loudly, wanting Ms. Yen to kowtow to her and make apologies. She accused me of doing something one didn't actually do. And she even hit me. She should kowtow to me. If not, I can go to the Yen family to ask them how they taught their daughter. Ms. Yen watched her performance coldly and replied. Elle accused you of the wrong thing? Kowtow to you? Don't you feel guilty saying that? I can swear on my life and my parents' lives that I am not lying. It was you who pushed me from behind. Dare you swear on your brother's life? Do you dare do that? If you dare, you can go to my parents and face them. Ms. Zhang screamed. Elle didn't do that. Why should one lie about it? And leave aside my brother's life? That is useless. You don't dare to, do you? You are being unreasonable. Okay, just drop it. We are a family and we see each other every day. What are you arguing with each other for? We can't just live on like this, Ken's second uncle snapped as he looked at Ms. Yen and Ms. Zhang. You are arguing over small things. Ms. Yen, you should not have hit her, and Ms. Zhang, you should not have pushed her. Ms. Yen, apologize to Ms. Zhang and we are done. No more discussion on this topic. Ms. Niu snorted. Yeah. Ms. Yen and Ms. Zhang glared at each other and felt unconvinced. Neither of them was satisfied. But Ms. Zhang was the one who did it, so she felt very guilty and was worried that Ms. Yen would continue to push forward the whole thing, so she might have to bear the anger of being slapped. She could not just make Ms. Yen retreat by crying. She had the chance to set her up in the future. Ms. Yen was not going to apologize. Dad, I never did anything wrong, why should I make an apology? Second sister-in-law pushed me so hard that one almost tripped. She should apologize to me first. She started it. Elle didn't do that on purpose. But you did it anyway. Shut it. Second uncle felt humiliated and furious. Ms. Yen, I am ordering you as a parent. How can you not accept it? Ms. Yen felt very sad. She cried. I am not accepting it because we need to be reasonable. I am not apologizing if I am not wrong. She glanced at Ms. Zhang. I am not going to apologize, and I have a few words to share with my second sister-in-law. Never ever play any tricks in front of me or try to set me up. Do you think that only you know how to play tricks? You know pretty well what you did in the past. I have been ignoring that till now. But henceforth, I will not forgive you. Ms. Yen said so and turned around, heading back to her room, leaving the rest of the family staring at each other. Ms. Zhang got so annoyed that her face turned green. She accused me of wrongdoing and then left because she was feeling guilty. Second uncle could not run after his daughter-in-law to order her again. But Ms. Yen did humiliate him and he felt annoyed. So, he left as well with a scowling face. Chapter 608, Terrible Fate Ms. Niu was very confused. But she said nothing as she glanced at Ms. Zhang. She knew pretty well what Ms. Zhang was like. Ms. Yen might be telling the truth. But Ms. Niu did not want to comment on that without proof. Also, most sisters-in-law never got along well. It was very normal that they did not like each other. She was the mother-in-law and her job was to keep them under control. She did not care what they were doing privately as long as that did not affect the whole family. Also, don't mess up with your sister-in-law. You should be careful. Why did you push Ms. Yen? Ms. Yen can get annoyed too. Be careful in the future. Ms. Zhang was shocked. I am warning you. If you still want your husband to find work in the Yen family, you should behave better. I am telling you the truth. The Yen family has offered Liulang a good salary, and if you mess up or ruin my son's job, I will teach you a good lesson. Ms. Zhang. She rushed back to her room, with hands covering her face. She had such a terrible fate. But she really could not blame her mother-in-law for preferring the other daughter-in-law. 701 for a month and lunch included in the package was a good deal. The work wasn't heavy either. Also, whether her husband would be employed would depend on the Yen family. She had nothing to compete with her. She pushed Ms. Yen and in return, she was slapped. In fact, even if Ms. Yen slapped her for no reason, what could she do? Could she really go to interrogate the Yen family? For the first time in life, Ms. Zhang started to get a little annoyed by her own family. She hated them for not being able to stand up for her. Shao Yunduan did not like gossip. So, he didn't mention anything when he returned home. As the days grew warmer, Qiao Xian led the team and cultivated the watermelons. When the trees grew to 2 inches tall, they could do the transplantation. They could also harvest another batch of mushrooms, wooden ears and snow fungus. The team fixed everything in half a day. The roses in the flower fields were blooming as well. They were growing very well and after the spring plow, the season for the biggest blooming would come. They had already finished the first batch of lipsticks, including the 10 sets of spring limited versions, each of which included 3 lipsticks. The colors included that of peach, apricot and rose, beautiful and tender. When put in the luxurious tubes, they looked really classy and high profile. Everyone would definitely love them. Though not everyone would be able to afford these lipsticks. Shao soon sent his men to fetch the first batch. The money was sent along as well. 800 ordinary lipsticks, and 30 of the limited version. Qiao Xian sold them at 2.5 liang for one, so they had 2,000 liang in total. Shao was going to sell the limited version at 3,000 liang for one. But the cost for the tubes and workmanship was already 1,200 liang. Hence, Xian received 800 liang for one, which made it 24,000 liang for 30 pieces. Xian had no objections to that. After all, luxurious goods need to look good and attractive, and they should be sold in a special way. Shao was running the business, and all she needed was to collect the cash peacefully. She would receive 26,000 liang in total after selling out this batch of goods, which was more than what she had in her hands altogether. She had made a huge fortune this time around. Chapter 609. Rich days. She could even share hundreds of liang with the other family members. Even then, she would still have enough savings. Shao did not mix the personal relationship with profit sharing. That was what a businessman should do. In this way would the cooperation continue in a smooth way over a long period of time. Xian was very satisfied. Shao's men also told her that Shao had already found 7 medium-sized places suitable for being the dessert stores in the province. He even had the decorations and furniture ready based on her requirements. By the time it was summer, they could open 2 stores for trial. Xian and Shao had 40% each, whilst Xia Jingrong had 20% share in the dessert stores. If the business went well, they would bring in a lot of money. Desserts were small in portion and the cost was low. When made in an exquisite way, they could become very popular. Once the cassavas were ready, they could harvest them if the jealous attraction ran out. Seedling process started soon after Shao's men fetched the lipsticks. Yubas, dried tofu, tofu cream skin and puffs were all available in the market after the opening at the Yan family. The business was very lively due to the uniqueness. The workshop was very busy from day to night. They managed to earn hundreds of liang within 1 month as profit. The Yan family used to earn only 40 or 50 liang of profit after selling tofu for 1 year in the past. The Yan family was highly motivated, and decided to buy a few more laborers to expand the production scale after the spring plow. Those bean products could be easily duplicated, so they needed to keep the secret well enough. Also, the Yan family would only hire those people who went through some simple procedures, in case they learned and opened stores themselves. They had to act carefully. Ms. Yan was very happy to hear that on her trip back to her mother's home. She had already earned back the cost she paid, and starting from the next month, she was going to earn profits. If she could get 7 to 10 liang a month, then she should earn hundreds of liang a year. That would ensure her a very wealthy life in the future. While she thought about this, she did not even bother to speak with Ms. Zhang. What was the point of arguing with people like her? Ms. Yan told Xian about this. Xian was glad too. It was a great start. The Yan family needed to ensure that the quality remained the same whilst the quantity arose. In this way, they could take up the market share so that the Yan family could stay firm on the ground even if there were a few competitors in the future. The first section of the family hired people to do the spring plow, since it was heavy labor work. They had money and they could save some effort. Xian was thinking about updating the space so that she could find some instructions for building farming tools. They might not be modernized or mechanized, yet they could save some labor force because of that. The farming tools which they had were too heavy and people worked really slowly with them. After the seedling, Xian and Shao Yunduan went across the properties at the Zhang village, and Xian visited the mountains a few more times, bringing some goods from there. The days became hotter than before. It was time for them to get ready for the busiest season of lipstick making. Students from Minghua College all went back to their classes. Chapter 610. Fruit seeds in south. On this very day, Shao sent his men to deliver seeds from the south again. The Zhang family had many contacts across the land. But due to the slow transportation, they traveled very slowly all over the place. Seeds were always welcomed whenever they were delivered. This time, Xian obtained seeds of all kinds of fruits, including papaya, longan, lychee, mango, carambola, dragon fruit, jackfruit, guava, jujube, grapefruit, and oranges. Each seed was wrapped in a yellow paper with the fruit's name written on it. Some were divided into different categories, such as lychees, which were divided into 4 categories, whilst mangoes into 9. Even bananas, sugarcane, and pineapples, which were not propagated by seeds, had been brought in large quantities. But due to the long distance and improper care, they had become listless and lifeless, and several of them had died. Yet as long as there was even one sample left, Qiao Xian was happy to receive it. She was delighted beyond words. When the men from the Yuezhing family were gone, she asked Qi, Tao Tao, and Chunyu as well as other maids to help with the planting of bananas and sugarcane. They would put the seeds close to the sweet potato field for later transplantation. Tao Tao and the others didn't know bananas and sugarcane, but they believed in Qiao Xian. Since she said that these were all fruits, they believed that these would be fruit trees. If they were planted, they would reap a lot of delicious fruits, so they all got excited. They were all amused by the strange-looking plants. They looked so weird. Everyone could not help but feel excited. What would those trees grow into? They really looked forward to seeing the results. After planting the fruits, they brought a basket and picked a lot of loquats, red bay berries and plums to take them back to eat. The fruits were very large in quantity and sweet. They believed that it was because of the spring which cultivated the land, plus the daily care, of course. It was because of these reasons that the fruits grew so well. They were going to have many fresh fruits available starting from now all the way to the winter. When Qiao Xian was alone, she could not wait but to exert her superpower. She wanted to revive the dead plants which had been sent by Yuezhing Shao. They instantly became lively and full of energy. Some even had a few tender leaves growing out of them. Qiao Xian was really pleased. She touched the leaves and said carefully, "You have to grow and flourish. Be sure to bloom and bear fruits." She was not worried about sugarcanes, which would grow properly due to her superpower. If they were not cared for, their texture, sweetness, size and quality could be affected. They would grow to be weak and small, not very sweet and also stiff. But she had her superpower, which could improve the fruits in every single way, so all the fruits would turn into the best quality ones ever seen. Chapter 6:11, Tryout. She was not sure about the bananas and pineapples. Maybe they only grew well without fruits, or the other way around, despite the superpower. Same with lychees and longans. But she was going to have a try anyway. She would see what happened to sugarcanes, bananas, and pineapples. The other with seeds could not survive this year. But some hanging fruits could grow out this year. In one word, Qiao Xian watched the seedlings and trees with a look of expectation and love. Probably after a couple of years, she was going to have delicious longans, lychees, mangoes, and dragon fruits to eat. When the fruits adjusted themselves to the local environment, she could expand their growth, so that people in the central land and north could be fed well. Well, in the process, she could earn some big fortune as well. On the way back home, the land officer told Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan that they were supposed to meet Officer Qiao the next day. Qiao Xian thanked the messenger. Qiao Xian smiled bitterly, seeing how land officer looked at them enviously. What was the point of being envious? You never knew what the actual situation was. She did not want to get involved with the Qiao family, if she had a choice. The following day, Qiao Xian asked Tao Tao, Yang Xiaoni and the others to work on the lipsticks and transplant the watermelons, whilst she and Shao Yunduan headed to the town. "Darling, what do you think they are up to this time?" Shao Yunduan was confused. He thought for a while and said, "They are not interested in us. But they are definitely interested in the Yuezhing family." Qiao Xian groaned annoyedly. "They can go to the Yuezhing family if they want to." Shao Yunduan chuckled. Officer Qiao would very much like to meet the Yuezhing family, but the other side would not want to meet him. "Don't worry, just leave everything to me. You can remain the silent and honest concubine's daughter." Qiao Xian burst into laughter, nodding. Okay. She could definitely play this role well. Shao Yunduan sighed inwardly. It was good that Qiao Xian did not take First Madam as the godmother, otherwise the Qiao family would get themselves attached to the Yuezhing family by touting family relation. Madame Qiao could always take Xiao Wei to pay a visit, and First Madame would not be able to turn them down. The couple arrived at the mansion early in the morning. They had to behave as if they were very active, having been summoned, which should fit their personalities. Officer Qiao was very pleased seeing Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan promptly at his doorstep whenever he summoned them. He was proud that he had seen through Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan, who would obey him without hesitation. They were summoned for the Yuezhing family's affairs, for sure. Yunduan, you are studying and soon you will be taking the examination, right? You aren't a talented person, and you need to study hard rather than get distracted. Or you will have no hope at all. You don't have to be in charge of the fields and tea. From today on, I will handle that task. I will arrange my men to take it over, so you don't have to do a thing. You are not experienced anyway, right? It is settled, then. You can write a letter to young Master Yuezheng and the strategist will tell you what to write. I will deliver that to young Master Yuezheng directly and you can leave the rest to me. Chapter 612, Outsider. Alright, just do as the strategist says. Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian. Officer Qiao truly did not think that he was an outsider. Now he was putting on the air as an imposing father. He never liked Xiao Xian. Nor did he think Shao Yunduan would be talented or have a promising future. That was why he made the decision directly, without caring about what Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan thought. At this moment, Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were indeed in a disadvantageous position. Ding Erzhu was in charge of what was happening in the Zhang village, but he was not a very talented manager. He could deal with the villagers, but not with Officer Qiao's men. If they did have an excellent manager, Shao Yunduan could say straightforwardly that Yuezheng Shao already had a manager, whilst he himself was just working sporadically with young Master Yuezheng, only to inspect the tea in the fields. In this way, he could have turned down Officer Qiao's offer. But there was no qualified manager working in the Zhang village, so Shao Yunduan could not use that excuse. If Officer Qiao sent someone to check it, things would be overturned and would make him skeptical. Shao Yunduan was silent. Officer Qiao looked annoyed as he frowned in displeasure. You don't want to? You have no time or talent for any kind of management. I am just helping. Did this man not want to accept his offer? Officer Qiao sounded as if he was granting a great favor. In fact, he needed money desperately. He had been trying his best to get back to the capital, and had invested all of his savings. But they were not enough. The Qiao family from the capital said that they were in a very crucial situation, and they needed to pay at least 30,000 liang to get through the contract to realize his goal. Otherwise, the deal would be off. Officer Qiao had turned almost mental during this period. He invested so much money in the primary stage, and if the deal was off, all of the previous investment would be gone. He could not stand that. So, he was going to gather 30,000 liang. He and Madame Qiao sold some stuff and collected nearly 10,000 liang. But he had no way to get the remaining 20,000 liang. The couple was really bothered by this. But Madame Qiao came up with the idea that 20,000 liang was nothing for the Yuezheng family. If they could get in touch with the Yuezheng family, they could borrow that amount from them. Officer Qiao was an officer, after all. That was why he decided to make this situation happen. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan knew nothing about this. Xiao Xian would have laughed had she heard that. 30,000 liang? She had 37,000 liang cash in her savings. No, officer father-in-law. Shao Yunduan pretended to be dumb. I can't make this decision. Young Master Yuezheng has to take this call. I can ask young Master Yuezheng's opinion before you send someone to take over. Shao Yunduan was thinking about signing a 15-year contract with Yuezheng Shao so that they could hire a capable manager. Chapter 613, Nothing is free in this way. He was going to hire some manager for the tea fields as well. Uncle Erzhu could just be the minor manager. They would not be able to remain in charge of the overall situation. Xianxia could make the introduction and hire some reliable manager whilst they would foot the bill. Officer Qiao snorted and said, "Why the trouble? You can go with the strategist and he is going to tell you how to write the letter." Officer Qiao was panicking inside. He just could not waste any more time. He did not think that if Shao Yunduan made the recommendation to Xianxia would turn him down. His men were definitely better at managing things. Shao Yunduan could not argue back. So, he forced himself to nod, but issued a warning as well. "Okay then. But I can't make the decision for young Master Yuezheng. If he doesn't want to approve of it, one won't change a thing. He liked me so he made me the manager. Maybe because I had found some watermelons for him. There was no free lunch in the world. Xiao hired him for some reason. Not everyone was eligible. Otherwise he would have sent someone from his family. Why bother to get some people from Officer Qiao, even if they were suitable or reliable? The Yuezheng family never lacked such talent." Qiao Xian almost wanted to burst into laughter, but she tried to hide her expressions. Officer Qiao understood what Shao Yunduan meant. He snorted in displeasure. "Write the letter, leave the rest to others." Officer Qiao seemed quite resolute. They might have an argument soon. So, he decided to drop it here. He would write the letter according to the instructions, but no matter how emotional Officer Qiao might be, Xiao would not approve of it. Xiao was not a stupid man. "Okay." Officer Qiao seemed satisfied. He looked at Xiao Xian as if he had suddenly developed some good feelings towards her. He said quietly, "You can have lunch here on your rare trip. I will let the kitchen." He had meant to say, "We'll let the kitchen do what you like to eat," but he had no idea what Xiao Xian liked to eat. He coughed and changed the words. "I will let the kitchen prepare some more dishes." Xiao Xian did not want to stay for lunch. But she realized that Officer Qiao asked them to stay for lunch just to get close to them. Hence, she had to accept the offer in case he was suspicious about her refusal. "Thanks, father. You should stay here and wait." Officer Qiao nodded and ignored Xiao Xian after that moment. Soon, he got up and left. He was bothered by how to raise money for his career. So, he ignored Xiao Xian totally once the matter was finished. Xiao Xian could sense that he was troubled by something. So, she asked nothing more but chuckled inwardly in her heart. He should be bothered heavily. Xiao Xian asked the maid to pass on her greetings to Madame Qiao. Since she was here, she needed to keep her manners rather than cause trouble. The maid returned fast. "Madame Qiao is busy now," she said. "You don't have to go over to greet her, Second Mississippi." That was exactly what Xiao Xian honed for. She showed a look of regret. "Okay, then." The maid threw a disdainful look at her but stayed silent. Second Miss wished to suck up to Madame Qiao. She did not deserve to meet her. During lunchtime, Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao did not show up. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were alone. Chapter 614, Stalking Shao Liulang. The meal included 4 dishes with 1 soup. It included bean roast pork, yuba pork belly, green pepper chicken slices, scallion fried egg, and cabbage vermicelli soup. Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian were not special guests, so the dishes were not well made. But the ingredients were fresh and ecological, so the food was not that bad when cooked in a big pot. The couple left after lunch. They were going to buy some stuff in town for the rooster and muntjac that she had hunted. They decided to buy some fresh meat to take home. Originally, Xiao Xian planned to kill 2 fat hens that day to make salt-baked chicken and crispy chicken, but she could leave that for later. The 2 of them bought 2 knuckles, a piece of pork belly, 2 tube bones, a pair of pork belly, and a pig heart in the market. They saw fresh mutton for sale and bought a portion of lamb chops. For dinner, half of the lamb chops would be made into sauce, and half would be stewed with fresh mushrooms. A portion of twice-cooked pork would be fried. Pork belly and pig heart would be marinated with spices, and could be eaten anytime during the next 2 days. The knuckles would be put next to the spring water at night to keep it cold, and stewed with yam the next day. Half of it would be used to make a sweet and sour dish. The bone would be used to make porridge at noon, with various mushrooms diced, fresh small river prawns, sprinkled with a handful of shallots. It would be delicious and fragrant. When they finished buying the meat, they were about to fetch the donkey cart when they suddenly saw Liulang heading towards the tea house. Before he went in, he even adjusted his clothes, and stood up straight. Then, he walked forward in confidence. Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan exchanged a look at each other, very surprised. Who is he going to meet? So neat and happy. Want to take a look? Qiao Xian was very curious. Shao Liulang was always arrogant. She had never seen him looking so excited and proud. Shao Yunduan thought for a while. We should go and take a look. As for this stuff, they left the meat at the pastry store where they often bought stuff from. Then, they went into the tea house. Shao Yunduan soon got to know from the waiter which room Shao Liulang went into by giving him some money. They went into the room next to it, and held their breath, eavesdropping blatantly. The soundproofing was really bad. Anyways, in this town, there were no private talks. They were here to drink tea in a silent place, not here to pry on others' secrets. So, they did not care if others heard them. Hearing that it was a young woman's laughter, Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian were both very surprised. What was going on? Soon, the woman was trying to ask Shao Liulang about Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan, as well as about the first section of the family. Their hearts sank and they started to concentrate on the conversation. Qiao Xian's eyes brightened after she listened for a while. She approached Shao Yunduan. Got it. That is Zhao Ming, the lady from the Zhao family, who is in a good relationship with Qiao Wei. As Qiao Xian's warm breath floated over his ears and cheeks, Shao Yunduan could not help but blush. He felt a little distracted. He understood that he should not have this kind of reaction, so he pressed down the urge and leaned a bit backward. Are you sure? Chapter 6:15. Zhao Ming's trick. Xiao Xian did not notice what a flirtatious position they were in. She nodded and said, I am sure. I remember this voice. Zhao Ming and Qiao Wei were good friends. So, Qiao Xian did pay attention to her at the banquet. She was not wrong about it. Shao Yunduan nodded with a small okay sound. They were separated by a screen. They were not talking loudly, but they caught a few words, not completely clear ones though. But that was already enough for them to understand what was going on. In summary, Shao Liulang was stupid and had no idea why he thought Zhao Ming would like him. So, Zhao Ming got on a date with him, and he tried to put on a very nice show as a gentleman, trying to win Zhao Ming's heart. But, in fact, Zhao Ming was not interested in him, and instead, kept talking about Shao Yunduan, Qiao Xian and the Zhang village. Shao Liulang was too stupid to realize that something was wrong. He felt really excited and thought that Zhao Ming was falling for him slowly. He became increasingly happy. In order to answer her queries, he made some remarks about his relatives. He did not have much knowledge about the real situation anyways. So, when Zhao Ming could not get anything more out of him, she obviously lost interest. Soon, Zhao Ming found an excuse and left. But he kept trying to offer to escort her back. Obviously, Zhao Ming did not need his help. She teased him and went away. Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian heard the sound of footsteps that left the place. Soon, Shao Liulang left as well. He must be in a very good mood as he was humming all this while. What a man! Qiao Xian did not know how to complain about Shao Liulang. He was so stupid. What was more disheartening was that he kept making up bad stories about his relatives in front of outsiders. The first section of the family helped them so much during all these years. The reason why he was able to go to school was because half of the tuition fees were paid by the first section of the family. This was interrupted after Qiao Xian came to the family. Despite so much, Shao Liulang felt no gratitude, and kept making up bad stories about the first section of the family. What a ruthless family. Shao Yunduan was silent for a while, but said eventually, if the Zhao family wants to know about the Zhang village and our fields, it should have been old Master Zhao's men who are doing the prying, not his daughter. It should be Zhao Ming's own ideas. But why? Old Master Zhao did not dare to irritate Yuezhing Shao, and he would not have insisted upon it after knowing the truth. Then, why was Zhao Ming asking about the first section of the family again? Zhao Ming and his family were not enemies, Qiao Xian sneered. Maybe Qiao Wei told her to do so, she was Qiao Wei's follower, but there should not be any reason for Qiao Wei to do so. Shao Yunduan was confused. What was Qiao Wei up to? Officer Qiao's business should not be hers, right? Qiao Xian was not worried. She was already half exposed right now, except that Officer Qiao had no idea how much they had in total. We should be cautious these days. I will tell mom and sisters-in-law that they should be careful about people coming to the door. Those who never hang out with us and suddenly get very passionate should definitely be ignored. Chapter 6:16. Shao Yunduan nodded with a smile. Okay. They could not keep any check on the Zhao family and Shao Liulang at the college. They could only work on their family in case they got disturbed. When they were sure that both Shao Liulang and Zhao Ming had left, Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian decided to go home together. On the way home, Shao Yunduan said, "Darling, one have a hunch that Officer Qiao really wants to befriend the Yuezhing family," and anxiously. Did you notice that? Xiao Xian was surprised. She thought for a while and replied. Yeah, now that you mention it, it does seem like that. He had known about this for a while but did nothing. Yet today, things were different. He must need money and quickly so. That was an easy guess. The Yuezhing family was rich and Officer Qiao needed to get to know them for money, of course. Shao Yunduan said contemplatively, he is working as an officer in this small county. If he needs a small amount of money, he could borrow some from the local business people. But if that is not the case, what does he need so much money for? A few hundreds and thousands of liang should not be difficult to gather, as long as they had a thick skin. He could just ask his strategist to visit some business people who will lend it to him. Any amount more than that would be difficult to obtain though. The county was very small and the businessmen were not very ambitious. They would not just give him so much money, since making money was never an easy thing. A few hundred liang might be really hurtful too, but then they could not get away by offering nothing. He should not have problems regarding money, if he lived normally. But if he suddenly needed a large amount of money and fell into trouble because of that, the whole thing seemed really strange. Qiao Xian was confused. She blinked her eyes. There is something weird, Shao Yunduan thought for a while and said, maybe he needs money to buy an official position. Buying an official position? Shao Yunduan felt that made sense. Yeah, he would need a big amount to buy an official position because of his lack of talent and achievements. It seems that he needs a lot of money, and the position isn't low. Qiao Xian believed that Shao Yunduan was right. But her heart sank instantly. What if he does get the position? We will be crushed. Qiao Xian suddenly felt really scared. If Officer Qiao was just a county magistrate, then Shao Yunduan would be powerful enough after becoming the advanced scholar. Officer Qiao would have to pay attention to Shao Yunduan and try to get him to his side because he was his son-in-law, after all. By that time, Madame Qiao and Xiao Wei would not be able to do anything, with their old master turning to the other side. But if Officer Qiao was promoted, then he may pay attention to Shao Yunduan, yet Madame Qiao and Xiao Wei would definitely try to override them as well. As long as Madame Qiao was given some benefits, people would suck up to her by turning her against her concubine daughter and son-in-law. Once Shao Yunduan became the advanced scholar, Madame Qiao would definitely try to bring them down. Shao Yunduan smiled and consoled his wife. Don't worry, it is not that serious. This is only our speculation. Also, even if we are right about it, things are not that easy to happen. Moreover, even if he makes it, it would still take a long while before he finds his feet on the ground. By that time, it might be time for the spring examination. Chapter 617, Home, Sweet Home. Also, we can ask the Yuezhing family and the Xia family for help. We can return that favor later. The Yuezhing family were connected with them, and their relationship was very close to each other. Moreover, the Xia family should be willing to help the advanced scholar who had a promising future, right? As long as he could stand out and let the Xia family appreciate his value, he would not fall into despair. The Xia family was far more promising than the Qiao family, no matter which position Officer Qiao found for himself. It would not be easy to return the favor, so they would rather not use it. But Shao Yunduan was not a pretentious man. If he needed to use the contact, he would. He would return the favor double-fold in the future. Hearing his analysis, Xianxia suddenly felt better. She smiled. I'll feel much more assured hearing your words. Shao Yunduan smiled. Don't need to overthink about this. You can be the honest and quiet concubine's daughter, and leave the rest to me. Xianxia chuckled and nodded. Shao Yunduan smiled and felt warmth in heart. He was going to become stronger so that he could protect his wife. His earlier dream had been to brighten up his family, but it became bigger now. They returned home and Nis. Fong asked. Everything all right? Miss Fong had witnessed too many cold and warm things in interpersonal relationships, for example the behavior of the second and the third section of the family. When she knew that Officer Qiao never liked Xianxia, but asked them to come over suddenly, Miss Fong knew that something bad was going to happen. She had been so worried. Xianxia answered with a smile. Don't worry, they just wanted to ask my husband about the autumn examination. Father needs some help in the government office. Oh, okay. Miss Fong didn't know any better and simply believed in what Xianxia said. Shao Yunduan did not deny it and smiled. That was the end of the matter. Xianxia took a nap and asked Yang Xiaoni and Tao Tao to get ready for dinner. Soon it was bustling in the kitchen, and delicious dishes were getting cooked, fragrant. That was what a family should be like. The next day, Xianxia had all the seedlings transplanted. Everyone turned to look at the strange-looking banana seedlings, sugarcane seedlings, and pineapple seedlings. They were all growing so well. Our spring really breeds plants well. Look at how good those trees are. Yeah, the fruits should be tasty too. Xianxia smiled. Hopefully, they will turn out to be delicious. She turned to look at lychees and longans that normally grew in the south. All had budded and the tallest one was already 3 inches tall. That was really fast. People in the south would get startled by the pace at which it grew. Normally, the buds would not have sprouted until a week later, let alone growing to this height. Xianxia let it happen faster because no one else in the family knew about it. Chapter 618, Xianxia's plan. These seedlings were tender and young, very cute and full of vitality. Even though they were still small, they looked quite different from the common fruit tree seedlings in the north. Everyone else, including Tao Tao, found them to be rare and fresh. Xianxia decided to visit them once a day and infuse some superpower in them to help them grow. The seedlings would grow to be what they should have been like in 3 or 4 years within 1 year's time. In this way, they should bloom and bear fruit the next year most probably. Xianxia could wait at most 1 year to see if such plants worked. If not, she would give up the idea. But if this experiment worked, she would buy more fields and plant a large fruit garden so she could offer special tropical fruits to the market, earning a lot of money out of it. That would be nice. If that did not work, she could find a chance to head down south with Shao Yunduan. She would place a lot of tropical fruits into her space, like longans, lychees, and mangoes, all for her to eat anytime. She was really greedy for them. She could wait until the magical water in her space reached a certain thickness, then the space would accept ordinary plants as well. After that, she could start to grow those ordinary plants in her space as well. Well, the space would not be unlimited, but hundreds of mu should be enough, right? Or even thousands of mu. One small farmland for herself, that would feel so nice. Qiao Xian had planned out everything. After this day, they continued to make lipsticks with new colors and went to the river to get shrimps, or hunt animals in the mountains. Every day seemed leisurely and peaceful. Shao Dalong's legs recovered finally. He had recovered to be able to do some heavy work, but not continuously for the first half a year. The whole family was so happy that this worry was finally gone. Ms. Su unexpectedly gave Qiao Xian 5 liang and asked her to make a table full of dishes as a celebration. Qiao Xian tried to turn away the money. But Ms. Su insisted that it was their kindness, and that Qiao Xian needed to accept it. Qiao Xian only kept 2 liang and said with a smile, 5 liang is too much, we would not be able to finish the food. One chicken costs 50 or 60 yuan and half a kilo of pork belly would cost just 15 or 16 yuan. We won't be able to finish anything more than that. 2 liang would be more than enough. She insisted on giving back 3 liang, which Ms. Su accepted in the end. She added, 2 liang is all yours, 5th sister-in-law. You have to cook for us, and I would feel really embarrassed if you don't take it. She was pregnant, and could not do any work. Her husband's illness was treated with the shared money and no one countered that. So, Ms. Su felt really moved. Qiao Xian accepted the money eventually with a smile. The remaining money would be used to buy some small snacks for everyone to eat. Qiao Xian made 9 dishes and 1 soup with 2 liang, including salt-baked chicken, crispy chicken, as well as stewed duck with taro, stewed lion head, fish and sheep pot, ginkgo pork belly soup, and salted egg yolk tofu soup. Chapter 619, Not Paying Back. Qiao Xian used fresh and tender, soaked pea shoots, and stir-fried them on a plate. The fresh green color, fresh and tender taste made people never want to stop eating them. Miss Fong was gratified and happy seeing the table full of dishes. Miss Fong actually suspected that she had misheard the news when Miss Su decided to offer money from her own pocket. After all, she was Ms. Zu's mother-in-law and she had seen through her long ago. Miss Fong was feeling very emotional about the days that became better and better. Those bad and small tricks were all gone. Not everyone was as annoying and ungrateful as the second and third section of the family. Miss Fong would agree if she knew the basic principle of the modern world: money could solve 80% of the troubles in life. But she knew that she needed to support her son and daughter-in-law to keep making money so that life could get better and better. Also, it was all Qiao Xian's luck that helped. At the Qiao mansion. On the day when Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan left, Officer Qiao could not wait but hired someone to deliver the letter written by Shao Yunduan directly to the province. He ordered that the letter had to arrive in Yuezhing Shao's hands on the following day. According to Officer Qiao's plan, Yuezhing Shao should agree to his proposal. After all, it was always better to have some professionals to manage the land and fields for him. As long as Yuezhing Shao agreed to it, Officer Qiao would wait for a few days and then go over to meet Yuezhing Shao, so that he could coax Yuezhing Shao and borrow 30,000 liang from him. Officer Qiao would give the money for the position he needed, and when he was back in the capital, he would start to earn enough money. It was not going to be easy to make 30,000 liang within a short while, but he did not think that the Yuezhing family would need this amount anyways. So, he never planned to pay back the money. By that time, the Yuezhing family would not really bother to go to the capital to get the money back. Besides, if he got promoted and soon won a high-ranked position, he would return the Yuezhing family a favor in the end. Officer Qiao had everything arranged in his head. He was very confident. Yuezhing Shao had just received the regular lipsticks and limited versions of lipsticks from Qiao Xian. He was selling them out slowly. 5 sets of limited versions had been sold out, and 5 more families had already reserved the 3 minor sets, which made him feel really happy. The remaining 5 sets would arrive very soon. But Yuezhing Shao got very confused seeing the letter sent by Shao Yunduan. He was sure that it was written by Shao Yunduan, which made him feel even more confused. He ordered someone to bring over the messenger, and after a few questions, he understood what was going on. Wearing no expression on his face, Shao ordered the messenger to take a break. And then, he smiled sinisterly. He saw through the situation quickly. Officer Qiao needed money desperately. He was trying to suck up to him urgently because he needed nothing else but money, maybe lots of it. But he would not give out money so easily. Instead of answering the letter, he thought for a while and called over a trusted servant. He appointed him to be the manager for the land at the Zhang village. Shao Yunduan could not do anything to his father-in-law. Then, he would deal away with him for his friend's sake. He did not need Shao Yunduan to be in charge of the tea fields. He had a suitable manager who could do that for him, and he was going to send that man there. That manager would not travel with the messenger. He ordered Xuan to send the messenger home first. Chapter 620. Distressed. The messenger did not want to leave. He smiled and asked about a reply. Xuan smirked and replied. Our young master has his own plan. He never writes replies. Young master never wants to leave any trace of his writing outside, in case some trouble comes to his doorstep. Our young master has never written anything to your second Miss husband either. He only passes on messages. So, you can just pass on this message to your master. Speechless, the messenger had to leave with the oral reply. He could not make the decision for young master Yuezheng. Also, Xuan was right. The Yuezheng family was so rich, and the old masters and young masters of the family would not leave any trace of their writing outside the family so easily. Without any delay, the messenger returned to the town before lunch the next day. Officer Qiao, who had been so anxious, summoned him directly. Where is the reply? Give it to me. The messenger stiffened and staggered slightly. Sorry, officer, but young master Yuezheng has sent no reply. What? Young master Yuezheng says that he already knows about this matter, and he has already got his own plan, which he is going to conduct in a few days. Since you urged him, he will start to implement that now. Young master Yuezheng's men should be coming over in a few days, and they will tell you clearly what is going on. Officer Qiao's head turned blank. He had no reaction for a long while. He sensed that something was wrong. So, he interrogated him and asked for more details. The messenger did not know anything more. He had just met young master Yuezheng once and did not even exchange many words with him. Without getting any valuable information, Officer Qiao got even more annoyed, snapping at the messenger. You useless thing, you can't even do one mission well. Then, he ordered him to leave. The messenger felt relieved. How could that be possible? Officer Qiao felt so distressed, and he went to Madame Qiao to complain. Madame Qiao frowned and asked firstly. Old master, are you sure that Shao Yunduan wrote what you told him to? Did he write anything that should not have been written in there? Did he turn them against us? Officer Qiao was startled, but soon shook his head. That is impossible. The strategist already wrote the draft and Shao Yunduan copied it. Also, he examined the final draft, and I had the letter delivered on the same day. If Shao Yunduan wanted to do something bad in the middle, he would not have managed to reach there before us. Also, one don't think he would dare to. Moreover, young master Yuezheng might not believe his words. Madame Qiao agreed. Young master Yuezheng and Shao Yunduan were totally different people, with a huge gap in their rank. Shao Yunduan was never going to be able to turn the two parties against each other. That would be so ridiculous. Old master, your proposal was beneficial for young master Yuezheng, and he should not have not turned that down. Well, now that he already has a plan, then, there is no way out. Madame Qiao sighed and felt distressed too. They still needed more than 20,000 liang, and they had almost used up every treasure they had. She had not even made any new clothes this spring like before, when she would get new clothes every season. She lived frugally and only had 2 sets for her daughter, who had been vehemently objecting to it. They could not even afford any ornaments and even had to save on new cosmetics. Chapter 621, Desperate Officer Zhao. Still, all these measures were not enough. What would they do now? The couple became even more distressed. If they had no money to buy the official position, they would have no chance to head back to the capital, and they would have wasted everything they spent in the past. Wish one could make a huge fortune. Officer Qiao complained. Madame Qiao snorted. What was the point of saying that now? How about waiting for young Master Yuzhang's men? Maybe we can write an IOU to that manager? Officer Qiao did not think that such a method was reliable. He and young Master Yuzhang were not friends, and his family wasn't under the charge of a county magistrate like him. The Yuzhang family was too rich and influential for a county magistrate like him to offend. He just could not do that. Moreover, he could not be sure that it would work. Let's just wait and see. He might give it a try if nothing else came to fruition. Yuzhang Shao was worried that if his men arrived a little late, that shameless county magistrate would cause trouble to Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian, so he ordered the manager and page boys to reach there the next day. The manager did not go to visit Officer Qiao, and only sent a few words through the strategist, who tried to console Officer Qiao. Then, he headed directly to the Zhang village. He would live at the Zhang village, and act as the new manager. He asked Ding Erzhu to deliver the letter to Shao Yunduan explaining the matter. Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian were really grateful after receiving the assurance from the manager of the Yuzhang family. Shao Yunduan was devoted towards the last leg of preparation for the autumn examination. He was very confident that he would make it. But he could not just relax. It was related to his future, and he could not have a laid-back attitude about it or show no respect. Hearing the news from the strategist, Officer Qiao felt so annoyed. He sneered. The Yuzhang family is so wild. When I reach the highest rank in the government, I am going to take revenge on them. The Yuzhang family's men did not bother visiting him because they did not want to get close to the Qiao family. This ruined Officer Qiao's plan of borrowing money. So, he got really annoyed. He just could not go straight to the Yuzhang family to borrow money, could he? That would be belittling and humiliating for him. It would not make sense either. But Officer Qiao needed money desperately for the errand in the capital, and it could not be delayed. He turned to Madame Qiao. You should go through what we have now so that we can sell those things and gather some more money. Madame Qiao was displeased. Old master, we have offered everything we could already. You know that. Officer Qiao sneered. Stop lying to me. I know everything about your private money. You must dedicate your money to the family in this situation. Madame Qiao was annoyed and embarrassed. She pressed down the anger she was feeling. Old master, you are wrong. I have never hidden any private money. I am simply saving a few things for my son and wife's dowry. Also, I am doing this for your sake, old master. Officer Qiao realized that his behavior was overbearing a moment ago. So, he calmed himself down and said, I was wrong. But you should give the money now so that I can get a high position in the capital. At that time, I will pay you back in double. Chapter 622, Empty. Madame Qiao knew that was how it should be. If she could give something up now, she would obtain more in the future in return. Will try my best. Madame Qiao had some jade and a few favored ornaments pressed at the bottom of her boxes. She got them pawned in the province. The pawn shops were all very stingy. Anything worth more than 100 liang would only be pawned at 30%, not fetching more than 30 liang. Also, if the person pawning wanted to get them back, the fees would be raised multiple times. Even if she chose to give them as fixed goods, the things would fetch 70% at most, mostly 50%. Madame Qiao's ornaments and jadeware should be worth around 13,000 liang, but after pawning, she only got 7,600 liang in total. When the money and the invoices were brought back, Madame Qiao felt her chest ache. She felt so distressed. She tried to console herself that everything was worth the while, as long as she was able to get back to the capital. Once they were back in the capital, her husband would be in the high position and her daughter would marry into the Ho mansion, but Madame Qiao still felt really annoyed by the current loss. When she felt annoyed, she was going to make someone else feel equally upset as she was. Get whatever is saved in concubine Dust's place as well. Get all the gold, money, and jade. I have offered everything, but she does nothing. Madame Qiao asked Auntie Ling to do so. Auntie Ling loved making trouble for concubines and their daughters. She nodded and went to carry out the order with some maids. They rushed to concubine Dust's place. Concubine Du almost passed out because of anger. That was totally reasonable. Shame on them. She knew that the old master needed a lot of money, so she did not and could not stop the search. Otherwise Madame Qiao would torment her in all possible ways. She was growing old and she was not like before. So, she could not turn to the old master for help. The old master was not going to defend her. Most importantly, her daughter's marriage depended on Madame Qiao. Concubine Du felt her heart dripping blood. When she knew that Madame Qiao had offered everything she had, she and Xiao Ko even laughed at her in secret. But now it was their turn. Auntie Ling was fast and straightforward, leaving nothing with concubine Du. Even the 300 liang under concubine Dust's bed was fished out. Auntie Ling harvested a lot and left the place proudly. Concubine Du almost collapsed as she looked at her room later. She started to cry. Madame Qiao was doing a count of what they had got. The whole thing was worth 1,340 liang. She got so furious and cursed through clenched teeth. This bitch has stolen so much from old master under my nose. Damn her. Auntie Ling consoled her with a smile. But now you have retrieved everything. Don't worry, Madame Qiao. Madame Qiao sneered. Of course. All of this is mine. Hearing the news, Xiao Ko hurried back to concubine Dust's place. She saw a distressed, tearful concubine Du as well as a messy room. Concubine Du, what is going on? Chapter 623, Madame Qiao killed her future concubine Du took her hands, sobbing. Everything is gone, gone. She is so cruel. She spared nothing, nothing was left for us. All the money, even as small as 20 pennies, was scraped away by the maids. She even lost one box of blusher. Xiao Ko's heart sank. She went about and searched everywhere. Then, she lost hope. She collapsed. Those things should have been hers. She had always been proud that though she was also a concubine's daughter, she was far different from disgraced Xiao Xian. Even her dowry would be worth at least 1,000 liang. She used to think that she would have a great martial life with 1,000 liang as her dowry. Also, that was the bare minimum. As long as her mother was alive, she could also flatter her father so the dowry could only become better. Also, her mother would have saved some more in 2 years. That was why she had been so confident all along. For those things, she was willing to flatter Qiao Wei, make her happy. But she had nothing left now. Shame on her. Xiao Ko sobbed. She is the madam of the family and she even scrapes out everything from a concubine's room. How could she? Stop it now. Concubine Du was shocked, covering Xiao Ko's mouth as she glanced around anxiously. Ko, no such words here. If she learns about this, we will have a terrible time. Xiao Ko cursed. Are we having a good time now? All of her savings were gone. She was going to get married 2 or 3 years after Qiao Wei got married. She was sure that Madame Qiao was not going to take care of her. But her mother was a concubine, who had no chance to start saving any more. What was she going to do in the future? What should she do? Madame Qiao had killed her future. Concubine Du sobbed. Don't be impulsive. Don't worry, I will think of a way for you. Xiao Ko felt slightly relieved but still remained annoyed. I can't accept it. Concubine Du was silent. She was unconvinced as well. But what more could she do? Forget about this when you step out of the room. We can't get those things back now, but if we turn ourselves into their enemies, it is not worth it, right? Qiao Ko nodded at concubine Du, letting out a sigh. Don't worry, I know that. Qiao Ko had a new goal at that moment. She was going to steal Qiao Wei's groom. She was definitely going to do so. Qiao Wei was brainless, arrogant and impulsive. More importantly, she looked down at her and ordered her around as if she were her maid. So, Qiao Wei did not have the heart to stay loyal towards her. As long as she had the plan in her mind, she was going to steal Qiao Wei's groom. Qiao Ko smirked and sneered in silence. They could wait until they went back to the capital. She was surely going to take revenge. Chapter 624. Tall fruit trees. Madame Qiao sneered at concubine Du and Qiao Ko's misery after she got their properties. She completely ignored their emotions. Qiao Wei learned about it too and even mocked them. In their eyes, the concubine and her daughter were just like servants for them to bully around. The concubine and the daughter would not be able to do anything in retaliation. Madame Qiao had no time to spare any more energy on the concubine and the daughter. She scraped again and got more than 7,000 liang in total. But that was still not enough. They had got everything they could offer, but they had the target of 10,000 liang. Actually, they would need at least 15,000 liang if they wanted to live well in the capital. Officer Qiao got so annoyed that he fell sick. The couple were really worked up but could not come up with any useful method. They were in a terrible mood and even argued with each other a few times. Meanwhile, in the first section of the Shao family, the fruit trees that Xiao Xian had planted were growing very well. The bananas were nearly taller than she was. The lychee and the mango trees were getting as thick as a finger and as tall as 1 meter. They were placed in a neat order in the empty place of the garden. Due to the hot weather, the mushrooms, wooden ears and snow fungus were growing very fast too. The family picked some and sun-dried them in the yard. When this batch was sun-dried, they could deliver it to the province. They would even send the lipsticks to Yuezhing Shao at that time, so that Yuezhing Shao was saved the trouble of sending anyone over. The dried snow fungus weighed around 50 kilograms, and was of the best quality. Xiao Xian could easily sell them at 30 liang per 500 grams. They were going to earn at least 6,000 liang on this deal. That was such a pleasing thing. Seeing the tender vegetables growing in the garden, Xiao Xian had a plan of making rice rolled in lettuce. As the name suggested, rice rolled in lettuce meant wrapping the fried rice with fresh and tender lettuce leaves. It should be eaten when hot. It had both the aroma of the food and the freshness of the lettuce. It was hot inside and cool outside, and tasted great. This fried rice was not as simple as the ordinary fried rice with eggs, and the condiments were very rich. They included chopped bacon, diced fresh meat, diced bamboo shoots, diced mushrooms, minced leeks, minced pickles, minced eggs, etc. Some seasoning needed to be added, after which the ingredients would be stir-fried and added to the cooled rice. Finally, a spoonful of meat oil needed to be put in, making it taste better. After the stir-fry was done, they put it on the table in a large steaming bowl. They could scoop up a spoonful of it while it was still hot, and wrap it in fresh and tender lettuce leaves. They could eat it like a wrap of roasted pork belly. It was tasty and they could make it themselves easily. When the dish was served, Tao Tao, Qi and Shao Sanlang as well as his foodie wife loved it. Xiao Xian enjoyed the texture, and thought that she should have made this earlier. She was going to seriously plan what to make in the future. She had money, time as well as efficient helpers. The following day, Qi and Tao Tao caught a lot of snails and came back to cook half of them as snacks. The small ones were fed to the ducks. Xiao Xian picked some more and added lemon juice, basil, dried chili and so on to make an old duck snail pot. Chapter 625, Expansion soon. It was the time for the Dragon Boat Festival. Xiao Xian decided to deliver the presents to the Qiao mansion. On the way back, they were going to talk with the land agent who could talk with the land officer about buying a piece of land at the entrance of the village for mushrooms, especially for snow fungus. The place in the garden was not enough. They decided to hire Shao Dali to find a few honest men from the village, who could help the couple to sort through the ingredients. They would be paid 35 won a day. Shao Dali was very glad to accept the proposal. He got his cousins along and they managed to get 7 people in total. They picked a day and went to the Qiao family to send the presents. They had the same presents as last year, nothing new, no kindness, just a mission. Neither Officer Qiao nor Madame Qiao were seen at the mansion. Qiao Wei was gone too. Qiao Ko could not be seen anywhere and concubine Du was missing as well. The maids told them to leave after giving the presents. It was a very strange atmosphere in the mansion. Qiao Xian wanted to leave as soon as possible, but she was very surprised too. Anyways, she did not care what was going on in the mansion, as long as there was no trouble coming to her. Shao Yunduan believed that he was right. Officer Qiao not only needed a lot of money, he needed it urgently. When their master was angry, the servants did not dare utter a sound. But Officer Qiao did not turn to him and Xiao Xian for help after what happened last time. It seemed that he did not have much hope in them. Good, the couple went to the land agent and soon bought the land. They finished the deal within 2 days. It was a barren land of 8 mu, located close to the village entrance. Those in the village did not talk about this any longer. They did not think that it was anything new. It was the right time to cultivate snow fungus. Xiao Xian soon hired villagers to work on flattening the land. They were going to build a huge wall with bricks, as tall as 3 meters, which would be out of the reach of any ladder. In the end, they built rows of sheds for mushrooms, whilst the ground was built on bricks, easy to handle and not prone to getting any mud in. They were going to build a storage house and tool house. They needed a storage house to store dried snow fungus and a tool house to store those tools, like dustpans, baskets and cleaves. Xiao Xian did not intend to make a big fuss about it. Snow fungus were different from other mushrooms. Only rich people were able to eat those expensive things. If the secret was revealed, they would have a lot of trouble. They were not capable enough to bring the whole village to become rich. They would draw a lot of jealousy and calculation from peers. 15 people were hired to dig the land, including Shao Sanlang and Shao Dalang, who worked there as the supervisors. They were paid 35 won a day as well. They needed professionals to build the wall and house and they needed laborers as well. They were all in the same team. It would take 20 days or so to finish the project and it should cost less than half a liang. The workers were all very happy. Widow Sun, who had not been seen for ages, squeezed through the crowd and watched the show. Hearing how the villagers spoke highly of the first section of the family, she felt very sour. Chapter 626, Jealousy. She regretted that she had not agreed to Ding Qingqing's proposal of marrying Shao Yunduan. Now, she was forced to deal with Ding Jihea's wife, being his concubine, and was living a terrible life. She could not stand it anymore, when she saw how well the Shao family was doing right now. This should have been her life. All of this should have been hers. Widow Sun snapped at Xiao Xian, forcing a smile. Yunduan's wife, your life is getting better and better. You buy fields every year. Where do you get this much money? Do you have any ways of making money? Share that with us as well. We are all living in the village, and you should take care of us, right? You eat meat, and you can at least share some meat soup with us, no? We are all grateful people, you know. We will pay you back. What Widow Sun said drew some agreement from the bystanders. Some of them even seemed quite expectant. Yeah, teach us how to live a good life, alright? Maybe they really have some ways of making money. Otherwise, where did they get this much money? That seems true. But they don't seem to be engaged in anything. Maybe we can listen to their story? They won't tell you, otherwise you will become a competitor. But we are in the same village, aren't we? Hee hee. Seeing many people nodding at what she said, Widow Sun sneered. See, Yunduan's wife, we all want to hear the truth. Xiao Xian smiled. Who do you think you are that I have to obey what you say? I am going to ask my mother-in-law if she agrees to your demand. Many people laughed in the crowd. Widow Sun was the concubine of the former land officer. Right now, Ding Jiao's wife and she were in the midst of a big fight and everyone was gossiping about it. Qiao Xian was right. Who did Widow Sun think she was? How dare she confront the county magistrate's daughter, who was also the wife of a cultivated talent? No one dared to take Widow Sun's side when Miss Fong was mentioned. Miss Fong was not simple to deal with. It was never easy to figure out how others made money. Widow Sun turned so pale as she shivered. You are looking down at us. The richer the people are, the more stingy they are. Qiao Xian's words poked her right in her wound. Qiao Xian blinked. We are not rich people. Also, why stingy and bad? Tell me. Or I'll tell my mother-in-law who can ask people in your family what you mean. Why am I stingy, when I am telling the truth? Widow Sun was so annoyed. Qiao Xian sank her face. Say it. If you don't say it clearly, one will never accept you accusing me of things I didn't do in front of so many people. Widow Sun was shivering. She almost suffocated. Ding Jiahao had been obsessed with her, and he told her some sweet words. But she was blamed in the end because he thought that she had caused him to lose the land officer position. Chapter 627, Deserve Now. Ding Jiahao kept cursing and hitting her whenever he thought of this matter. Miss Qjao did not even treat her as a human being. Even her daughter was treated like a maid, and she did not even dare cry. She regretted it so much. If Qiao Xian, Miss Fong, and the Shao family went to her husband's home to cause trouble, she would be tormented again by Miss Qjao. Widow Sun felt dreadful at the thought. She was frightened and held a deep grudge towards Qiao Xian. But she regretted her impulsive behavior. She should have stayed silent. Qiao Xian could tell that she was scared. But she still showed a calm look on her face, though she was sneering inwardly. If you try to create a rumor, you need to apologize. Widow Sun opened her mouth. She really could not make an apology. Especially to Qiao Xian. That was like a slap right across her face. Still, she understood her situation. Widow Sun closed her eyes and said, Sorry, I should not have said that. Qiao Xian did not want to show harshness in front of others. She smiled and said, Elle will let you go, since you apologized. But you should watch out what you say next time. Accusing others for things they don't do is a bad virtue. Widow Sun's face sank and she clenched her teeth in anger. But she did not dare offend Qiao Xian again. It was too late though. Miss Qjao arrived there in anger. She glared at Widow Sunday, You lazy, greedy bitch. I am so busy at home whilst you are watching a show here. Get home now, or you will have no food tonight. Widow Sun was so annoyed that she almost wanted to hit Miss Qjao to death. This evil bitch. But she did not dare to. She was just a concubine, who was married in a very humiliating way. Miss Qjao was the mistress of the family and she could do whatever she wanted to her. People were looking at her. Widow Sun was so angry and humiliated, that she dashed off with her head lowered. What a pitiful woman. Yeah. It was her fault for having done such a humiliating thing. Yeah, she asked for it. Although there seemed to be a fig leaf over her affair, and the explanation seemed really reasonable, everyone understood what was going on. It was just some gossip in the whole village that no one liked to talk about. They sighed, exchanged opinions and went home when it was time to make dinner. The crowd dispersed eventually. Qiao Xian checked the place, spoke a few words and went home too. She did not feel sorry for Widow Sunday. Widow Sun did not deserve her compassion. But for her superpower, Shao Dalong's leg would have been done. If it wasn't for Ms. Yan, who eavesdropped on their conversation and told her and Shao Yunduan about it, no one would have foreseen that it was a conspiracy. They were Widow Sun's enemies, and maybe she and the former land officer would have gotten them killed someday. This woman was evil and it served her right to be treated like this. Ms. Qiao was the right person who could bring her down. Chapter 628, Not Two Owners at the Qiao Mansion. Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao were very distressed and kept sighing for the lack of money. They started with an amiable discussion, but soon the discussion developed into an argument. The whole backyard was filled with anger and darkness. In the end, Madame Qiao came up with an idea. How about borrowing some money from those rich families again? Officer Qiao was startled. He already did it once. Otherwise his coffers would have been empty ages ago. Officer Qiao did not think that it was good for his reputation if he turned to them again. It was not a very good thing if a county magistrate borrowed money from locals. It would turn him into a joke. He had chosen 5 very rich, not tricky families when he borrowed the money for the first time. He got 1,000 liang from each of them. They were nice families, but they were not very happy when they had to fork out so much money to the county magistrate. If he turned to them again, if he ran to them again, it would be unreasonable, and his reputation would be ruined among all the rich families. The fewer people knew about it, the better. 1,000 liang was already a lot of money. If he borrowed 1,000 liang again, that was still not enough. He needed to find some more families to help him gather the amount. Officer Qiao felt really uncomfortable thinking that his name would be ruined. Madame Qiao sneered seeing his confused face. Reputation? His reputation was worth no money. His reputation could not be worthwhile compared to his future prospects. Madame Qiao did not want to give up now, especially since they had invested so much in this position. Old master, your future is more important. Think about this, if you can be higher in the position, the reputation is nothing. She continued coaxing him. Also, when you step into a higher position, you can return the money to them, and it would be their luck to be related to you at that time. They would be so happy about it. Officer Qiao nodded, and he gradually felt better. True. As long as I attain a high position in the capital, I will have enough money. I can return the loaned amount to them by that time. Also, nothing else mattered if the future was promising. More importantly, if all worked well, he could be back to the capital by the end of spring. He did not have to stay here for 1 more year. Then, he would not need to worry about being laughed at. Soon, he would be away from this place. That is it. Officer Qiao made up his mind to do so. The rich families, including old Master Zhao, were all shocked. They had just lent out 1,000 liang. They still had to give more this time. They would not ask him to return the money since he was county magistrate. So, they never held any expectations that the money would be returned. But that was 1,000 liang. Even rich families like old Master Zhao were not happy to have it in other people's hands, let alone to someone who would never return it. The old masters gathered together, exchanging some thoughts with each other. What is wrong with Officer Qiao? He wants 1,000 liang again. I don't have this much money. Someone broke the silence and started to complain. Yeah, I only have fields, not cash. Chapter 629, Old Master Zhao's Bitterness, 1,000 earlier and 1,000 again now? That is just, sigh. We don't have this much cash, either. What should we do? We don't earn much money easily, right? The county magistrate's behavior is over the top. What should we do? The sighing and complaints stopped, when the question was raised by someone. They all turned to old Master Zhao with an inquiring look. His was one of the top rich families, and the Zhao family had a close relationship with the county magistrate. Old Master Zhao smiled bitterly. He was feeling even more wronged in his heart. While the others lent out 1,000 liang, he had to loan out 1,500 liang. When the others were asked for 1,000 this time, the strategist asked him to offer 2,000 liang instead. He was so annoyed and almost spat out blood. What should we do? He is an officer. Also, he is just borrowing, someone sneered. That is just an excuse. We all know that the money can't ever be returned. Yeah, but who dares say that out loud? Everyone became silent. Old Master Zhao sighed. Let's just gather the money and send it to Officer Qiao. We can't really fight with the officers, you know. We should take a step back. Besides, Officer Qiao has never asked to borrow money from us before. He must be in real trouble in recent times. True. They nodded, sighed, and shook their heads. They had to give the money. Officer Qiao was not a greedy officer, but he was not a nice man. When he asked for something, they had to give it out obediently. Soon, Old Master Zhao gathered 2,000 liang and had it delivered. The others also tried to collect the money. Some even secretly sold out a few valuable things and managed to get 1,000 liang. Some families had to offer the money, since everyone else did. They did not dare to make any complaints. Officer Qiao sorted out the money and went into the capital with his trusted man. He felt so glad to have this load off his mind. You are smart. The money problem is settled. Madame Qiao let out a sigh of relief as well. She smiled. "I will do anything I can, for your sake, old master." He said emotionally, "Our family will flourish with you next to me. I will definitely earn you a great title in the future." Madame Qiao liked to hear this kind of promise. "Thank you very much for that, old master. You deserve it." Fearing that Officer Qiao would ask for some more money, Old Master Zhao left home and went traveling. He was not planning to return home within half a year. As long as he was absent, his son could not make the decision, which could be used as the excuse to turn down any new request. The Qiao family had offered the Zhao family much convenience. But the Qiao family got 3,500 liang from the Zhao family, not including other attributes. That seemed like a huge loss for the Zhao family after all. Old Master Zhao felt very annoyed and uncomfortable as well. Seeing that Old Master Zhao was gone, the other families also realized what was going on. They went traveling as well. Almost everyone from the Zhao family learned about how the Qiao family asked for the money from them. They felt so uncomfortable. They all believed that Officer Qiao treated them differently. They even bragged about hanging out together. But this behavior was such a slap on their faces. Officer Qiao asked them for far more money than he did from other families. Zhao Ming was especially annoyed. She had been treating Qiao Wei so nicely and even helped Qiao Wei find some information about Xian secretly. But now, she was not going to tell Qiao Wei anything anymore. Chapter 630, To the Weak. In fact, she was going to vent her anger on Xian. That was a very strange logic. When someone offended a person who was more powerful and could not take revenge on that person, one would definitely try to bully those who were weaker, just to vent the anger. The brave attacked the strong, and the timid attacked the weak. That was what happened in the society. It was the same as in the case of those who had a bad time in their life but vented their anger at those children in the kindergarten and primary school. Zhao Ming felt annoyed by Qiao Wei, but she only dared to curse her in her heart. She did not dare set up Qiao Wei or take revenge on her. But she was going to pick on Xian. Xian was also Officer Qiao's daughter. Officer Qiao was so annoying, so his daughter should bear the responsibility. The more she thought about this, the angrier Zhao Ming felt. So, she found some time and headed directly to Shouting village. When she arrived, the house for snow fungus had been built. Zhao Ming turned to the coachman and sneered. "This is by Xian again? Interesting, what is it exactly? It is not a house, right? But this showed Xian did have some money, no? Otherwise she would not be able to afford to build these. They had a big residential house and also dozens of mu fields. There should be more than 100 mu of field in total, right? Those fields were not worth more than good fields, but together, it would add up to something, after all." Zhao Ming suddenly came up with an idea. She thought about taking Qiao Xian's belongings since the Qiao family forced the Zhao family to offer money. These fields were not valuable, but she was going to get them. For her family's sake. Although she did not think this little thing would be worth much, at least she would feel better. The villagers were used to seeing wagons heading towards the first section of the Shao family, so Zhao Ming's arrival did not attract any attention. It was Liulang who opened the door. She was startled. Who are you? Zhao Ming did not care about a small maid. But did this mean that they could afford to hire servants now? That was surprising. She could not help but spare a few glances at Liulang. She felt even more annoyed. Liulang behaved so well and she did not seem like a cheap, stupid servant. Almost as good as her own. Qiao Rong asked. Is this cultivated talent Shao Yunduan and Miss Qiao's home? Liulang nodded. It is. Good. Our lady is here to talk with them. Qiao Rong said, as she was about to walk in with Zhao Ming. Liulang frowned. She did not stop them but shut the door, instead of letting the coachman walk in. This lady did not seem to be her mistress friend. She looked so bad-tempered. She could not stop her, but she could at least shield her from coming into the yard. The first section of the Shao family was very busy at this time. Qiao Xian and a few girls were working very hard in the flower fields. Apart from Shao Yunduan who was studying at home, only Ms. Fong and Ms. Su were home, taking care of the children with Liulang. Ms. Fong heard the noise and walked out. She sized up Zhao Ming. Chapter 631, Ojao Xian's money. Liulang walked forward and bowed to Ms. Fong. Madam Shao, this lady is asking for Miss Qiao. She could not stop her. She did not dare stop her mistress friend. But she hesitated for just 1 second, which allowed Zhao Ming to walk in with her servants. Oh, you are here to look for Miss Qiao. Ms. Fong noticed Zhao Ming sizing up the house and looking at the way she reacted. She believed that Zhao Ming was not here to chat with Miss Qiao. But she had not done anything so far, so she just smiled and asked. What is your name? Qiao Rong said arrogantly, it is Lady Zhao. Okay, Lady Zhao, come to the house and take a seat. Liulang, go and fetch Miss Qiao. Miss Fong greeted her with a smile. Liulang rushed to the flower field in the backyard. Zhao Ming walked in and saw the nice furniture made with good wood. These were not precious, but definitely not cheap either. The yard was bigger than other farmer families' homes, and there were some other yards as well. The floor was covered with bricks. An ordinary family could not have afforded this. She saw the flowers too. There were hydrangeas, peonies, and magnolias. The glazed windows surprised her. Those were not cheap at all. Those large glazed windows let in the light, and this was not an easy piece of work. Qiao Xian did it, right? These countryside people should have heard of anything like glazed windows. Where did Qiao Xian get this much money? Zhao Ming believed that Qiao Xian must have offered her dowry so the first section of the family could live a luxurious life like this. Madame Qiao could not have possibly given Qiao Xian this much dowry. Qiao Xian's mother left all this to her? That must be right. Interesting, Zhao Ming sneered as if she had gotten a bargaining chip. She felt motivated. In the field, Qiao Xian was startled. Lady Zhao? She did not know any Lady Zhao. But when she thought of Zhao Ming, she almost turned pale. Let's go. Qiao Xian told Tao Tao and the others to continue working whilst going back to the yard with Liulang. Zhao Ming could not be here for anything good. Lady Zhao. Qiao Xian was wearing ordinary cotton clothes that were half new. The shoes on her feet were also coarse cloth shoes, with a little mud stuck on them. She had been working in the flower field. The hair bun was wrapped with a light-colored floral cloth. That was to prevent the hair from being blown by the wind and messing up the vision, and also to stop the hair from being blown into the flower juice. When Zhao Ming saw how messy Qiao Xian looked, she felt comfortable. She sneered. Second miss, what made you look like this? I would not recognize you on the street. Xian took her to the wing room and asked. What are you doing here? Zhao Ming snorted, glancing about. Second miss, you are living a good life here, right? Xian understood what she meant. If Elder Miss Qiao learned about this, she would act on it. Zhao Ming thought that she had got the bargaining chip. But she was wrong. Xian repeated her words calmly. I am wondering what you are doing here, Lady Zhao. Chapter 632, shocked Zhao Ming had a bad look on her face. She said angrily, of course I am here to collect debt. The county magistrate got so much money from our home, so I am here to collect it from you. So what? That was not a secret among all the rich families in the county. Even the masters and mistresses from the Zhao family knew about it. Zhao Ming naturally believed that she did not need to keep it a secret, thus spilling it out loudly. Xian thought to herself that no wonder she was a good friend with Qiao Wei. They had the same temper. But she was shocked by what Zhao Ming said. Did her father get much money from the Zhao family? It seemed that her husband was right, her father was in desperate need of money. The Zhao family might have been annoyed to offer a few hundred liang. But if Zhao Ming was this worked up, then, it basically meant that the Qiao family had taken thousands of liang from them. Xian was shocked. Thousands of liang was a very large number. The Zhao family was rich, but she was sure that they could not stand that much taken out of their family as well. Xian said calmly, Lady Zhao, you are behaving way over the top. I don't know much about what happened. But my father has been treating you and your family well these days. Why do you react so much to loaning out this little money? Little money? Zhao Ming sneered. We gave your family many presents over the years. But still, he took 3,500 liang from us. You said that is little? It seems that you are rich enough to call this amount little now? Xian. She really wanted to tell her that a few thousands of liang was a small amount for her now. She had cash worth more than 40,000 liang. But what position was her father trying to achieve, which cost him so much? He was in such a hurry. Did it mean that he was leaving the country soon? That would be great. Xian showed a look of surprise. Then, what has it got to do with me? Ha! Zhao Ming sneered. You are his daughter. Xian, if I tell others that you are living in a house with glazed windows and large yards, and you even have hundreds of mu of fields, what do you think will happen? Xian was speechless. She got nothing good out of her father, but her father had caused her such trouble. Zhao Ming was very annoyed to have lost this much money, so she was venting her anger. What do you want? Xian did not show any expression. Zhao Ming believed that Xian was pretending to be composed. She said proudly, I know you are poor, but I want your fields. Then, I will keep this a secret for you. Xian did not believe her. Xian was not going to give away the fields here. Even if she did, what would happen next time? Was she going to give it to Zhao Ming whenever she wanted something from? No, she was not going to give away anything. You don't want to? Aren't you afraid that Elder Miss Qiao would know about this? Xian, you are a smart person. You know what choice to make. Chapter 633, Reasonable Xian asked in a calm voice. Lady Zhao, do you think that the Shao family are rich enough to get those fields and the big house? Zhao Ming was startled. She was confused too, but then she sneered. It's all thanks to you. Xian shook her head. It's not me, but my husband. I only know that the fields are related to young Master Yuezhing in the province, but one don't know the details. Young Master Yuezhing keeps a low profile, and he doesn't like bragging. But this is not some dirty deal, so you can tell anyone you want. Xian was still trying to use Yuezhing Shao as the shield. Afterwards, she could go to Shao Yunduan and talk about the compensation. Allos, Yuezheng Shao had a manager who was now residing at the Zhang village. He could be the messenger. He was working for the Yuezheng family, and he would always work better than Shao Yunduan as proof. Zhao Ming had heard of the Yuezheng family in the province. She was startled hearing what Xiao Xian said. You are lying to me, aren't you? Xiao Xian. You can believe me, or not. It depends on you. Zhao Ming snorted and flushed furiously. She got very angry about not being able to get the fields. Maybe she was even looked down upon by Xiao Xian. She did not need the fields. She just wanted to vent her anger. How could that be so difficult? So, young Master Yuezheng has purchased all those fields? What does he need those fields for? Xiao Xian replied with a shrug. I am not sure about it. Xiao Xian sounded so natural just when she said that. She was just a woman, who should not be involved with family business, right? Zhao Ming believed so too. She looked at Xiao Xian quietly. She was not very satisfied, but there was nothing she could do. She could not go and get the information from Shao Yunduan. Xiao Xian was chuckling inwardly, thinking that she could imagine all the stories she wanted. It was time to make lunch and Xiao Xian did not want Zhao Ming to stay here any longer. Lady Zhao, it is time for lunch, one think you can. Zhao Ming snorted and looked disdainful, so stingy. She believed that she was going to remain for lunch? She did not want to eat anything from the poor family. Xiao Xian, you must never lie to me. I will look into what you said. If you have lied to me, I will teach you a lesson. Qiao Rong, we should leave now. Zhao Ming left arrogantly. Xiao Xian ignored her and told Miss Fang about it. When Miss Fang learned that Zhao Ming's brother was hanging out with Shao Liulang, so she snapped. No wonder she seems like a bad person. She looks down at us. She should never bother to come to our door if she looks down at us. We are not begging her. Xiao Xian laughed. Mom, next time she is here, send someone to fetch me but do not speak with her. Ladies from the town are always arrogant and they never talk nicely. Don't take what they say to your heart, or get upset, okay? Miss Fang smiled and said, thanks for your concern, my daughter-in-law. They happened to go into the mountains the previous day, and hadn't finished eating the muntjac meat they hunted back. At noon, they made shredded pork in sauce, braised venison, Christian carp loofah soup, fried wolfberry sprouts, river shrimp fried spring leeks, and a bowl of kimchi pickled with carrots, beans, chili, and cabbage. Those seasonal vegetables were delicious and fresh. Chapter 634, No involvement after lunch, they returned to their own yards. That was when Xiao Xian told Shao Yunduan about Zhao Ming's visit. The couple would have originally thought that Zhao Ming wanted to suck up to Qiao Wei, and hence she tried to pry into their matter. But the truth was that she came to vent her anger because of the loan. Xiao Xian thought of how Shao Liulang spilled the information to her at the tea house. They knew that she was not up to anything good. They did not even interrogate Shao Liulang. There was no need to say anything to a person like him. What they needed was to stay cautious. After some discussion, the couple went to the Zhang village and gave the update to the manager there. The manager assured them. He said disdainfully, the Zhao family, the Zhang family, or any family are nothing, as long as our young master moves a finger. Once he does that, they will have no prospering business. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan laughed. Zhao Ming told her mother about what happened. She wondered if she should tell Qiao Wei what she found at the first section of the Shao family. Madame Zhao was very surprised when she heard about the life Xiao Xian was living. She knew pretty well what went on inside mansions like that. But, you said that young Master Yuezheng was mentioned? He is involved in it? Yeah, but 1 a.m. not sure if she is lying. Just leave it. Madame Zhao said calmly, what does it have to do with us? We should not get nosy like this. Zhao Ming was struck speechless. She felt that it was so stupid to have visited Xiao Xian. How the Qiao family was doing had nothing to do with the Zhao family. She could help to get some information before. But Officer Qiao forced the Zhao family to pay him 3,500 liang, and the two families' relationship was broken. She better not share the information with Qiao Wei anymore. Besides, the Yuezheng family was involved in this as well. That was enough to motivate her to stay out of it. She even wished that Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan would be powerful enough to get young Master Yuezheng to help them take revenge on Officer Qiao's family. Got it, Mom. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan thought that something would happen after Zhao Ming went back. But nothing did. They were very confused. They had no idea why the accident did not happen, but they did not think that it would never come. After all, Zhao Ming would not be able to keep it a secret for too long. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan only wished that life could be more peaceful. But Xiao Xian was still very confused why her father needed this much money. So, she asked Yuezheng Shao to look into that. Soon, Yuezheng Shao's message arrived. Her father was trying to get a transfer back to the capital. Officer Qiao was the last generation of the rank. The Qiao mansion lost its rank when her father took it over. They were just an ordinary family henceforth. The mansion would not have any power or contacts, since there were so many rich people and people in high positions in the capital. You're tuning into the Carefree Valley YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.